Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show on Chelsea Perspective. I hope you all are doing well. Quite some interesting topic for us to discuss today. We talk about the re-emergent and Neymar to Chelsea rumors, why that is possible and why it may not happen. Also, considering whether the club should prioritize signing Osimhen rather than what we're hearing with regards to the possibility of the club signing. Uh, Neymar Jr. Also, we'll talk about. We'll wait and see if there's any chance that what's his name, Mauricio Pochettino, will be announced as the new Chelsea manager. We'll also talk about whether Mr. Boehly and co. whether they're misunderstood or whether people are, criticizing them rightly. Whatever the case is, we'll have the conversation today. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back. I hope you all are doing well, and I really do mean that. I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. And before we continue, I want to take this opportunity to say hello to my bro, Liam Lane. I hope, if you're listening, I hope you're becoming even better. And to those of you that are watching for some reason or the other, not able to join, uh, participate in the chat here, we appreciate you so much. You also do provide great value to the Chelsea Perspective community. But if you can do us one more favor, please just take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes will go a long way. And if you're joining, or if you've joined already, if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream. Let's try and get it to 100 as soon as possible. Let's shoot for 200 today. We can do that, but only if you keep dropping the likes on the stream the moment you join. So thank you so much. As usual, it's important. The first things first. We get to see who is in the chat and say hello to them. First person, John Hand. Let's hope Chelsea plays the football next season. I think that will happen. I think we'll be settled. The new manager will get the clean slate. Hopefully, we don't panic and bring them in by the time the season ends. But I think as one win and the fact that we're safe now, I think Lampard stays until the end of the season, no matter what happens. It's that time of the year, says my bro, Jerry Z. There's an update by Athletic that Poch will be announced this week. I hope this time it will be done. I hope it gets done as soon as possible. And the link to becoming a member is pinned at the very top in case you decide to become a member of the channel. It costs $2.99 per month. It helps us support students every month with regards to our Stay in School project. We did the first edition. So please, if you want to become a member, find the link is pinned at the very top. If not, you're still a valuable member of the Chelsea Perspective community. We'll move on from that. This says big up, guys. Big up to you too, Michael Obinka. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. What else do we have? We have these. God save the king. This one says, what time you start? We're starting already. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much, people, for always finding the time to join the show. What else do we have here in the chat? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Big up, coach, and everyone in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Says my brother from the Diva Land to Bay. Oh, always nice to see you, people. Please, go ahead and share the link to your channel when you get a chance, brother, so that people can go check it out. Neymar to Chelsea, hope not happen. Neymar, you can say, should I say, will it be correct to say he's a commercial merchant? The owners would like to have him. The fact it's beyond footballing reasons. I think lots of shirt sales and all that. But it will be a complicated signing. But I think if they really want to do it, I think they're going to do it. From a business perspective, if they feel like they can recoup or how much they sell him for. And this says, big up, Coach, big up to you too, Phil Sims. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. And Bobby, my bro, says, smash the like button, people. And yep, up the famous CFC. Yep, we survive a scare. I don't know how is to phrase it to better get my point across. You can say, yeah, we're staying up. Let me just say it like every other person I've heard say, express their happiness that we're not going to get relegated. Yeah, we are staying up, and it's that simple. Let's see what else we have here. Big up, mate. Finally, a winner on the Lampard. Yeah, I guess you could say that. And I think it's something for Chelsea, Dan. Did I miss it? Big up, Dan. I hope you're back now. You said you were, was it in Cyprus for holiday? Welcome back, mate. Big up, mate. Finally, a win under Lampard. Yeah, you could say that. Leicester till I die. Is that my friend? Is that my friend here? That, I haven't seen you with that avatar. If it is somebody I'm thinking. If you're watching, if you haven't, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes go a long way. And please, if you're a moderator, take a second. Do share the link to our sister channel, because that channel will take on a life of its own very soon, so that non-Chelsea fans can also subscribe and be part of that community once it keeps once we get enough panelists to be representing all the clubs. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think Harry Kane would be a perfect fit for Chelsea, guaranteed goal scorer. Giovanni Jafta, I believe you've followed football enough, and you are well acquainted with the rivalry between Chelsea and Tottenham to know that it's not going to happen. Especially now that he's not going to leave Tottenham as a free agent, even when even if he'll be leaving on a free in the summer. At this point, I don't think Chelsea will be his preferred destination. At least that's how I see it. He would want to go to a club where he's guaranteed to win a trophy immediately. And at this point, you could say, even though there's a chance we do that the coming season, he's not going to trust that. He's not going to have the belief that that's going to happen if he joins us. And at this age, his priority will most likely be to win a trophy as soon as he leaves Tottenham, because the main reason why he'd leave Tottenham at this point would be probably again there's no that possibility for him to win anything, and he's not getting any younger. So he will pick carefully whatever club he's going to join next, if that makes sense. So I think we should move on from that. Henry Otalo says, Kuchi Laila. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. That's actually how, when I was still in Nigeria, that's how they say it, Kuchi Laila. Let's see. I want James Madison. That's another player I have to say to you. Good luck getting him. And it's not going to come cheap. I think we should be looking for a central attacking midfielder capable of producing double digits in terms of chances created and assists. We don't create too many chances from the central area. All we do is try to put in crosses from the flanks, and in most cases on the carpet, and that is very, very predictable. Phil Safe says, I cannot wait for the season to finish, Coach. You and I the same. I just wish that the last game we played was the last game of the season for us, but unfortunately we still have some tough games coming. We still have to play Manchester City. We still have to play Manchester United. We still have to play Newcastle United, and we still have Nottingham Forest, and that's not an easy game. It'd be stupid for us to underrate them or not show them respect. And for the fact that Charity FC is seriously a factor, I'm actually more concerned with again playing against Nottingham Forest and Man City and Man United. Those are games that you can say for sure will be open games where they don't sit deep. They believe they can beat us, and that in most cases those are usually easy games for us. But we'll move on as long as we put away our chances when it comes. So anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to move on to start taking the items, the structured items we have lined up today, our topics one by one. This is not going to last. This is going to be end maybe 30 minutes earlier because something important that I have to take off. Aaron Judge said from Trinidad and Tobago. Yep, one and all indeed. Hopefully, last weekend's victory gives us a push to win our remaining games. Let's go, Blues. I get it. Some will say there's nothing to lose, but if we win these games, it will be a confidence booster for the players. It will do their confidence level a world of good. And I think, yeah, we should push to win those games. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And one more favor, please, if you're in the chat or participating, if you can help us share the link to the stream or whatever social media platform where you have presence, that will go a long way for us. Sincerely do appreciate all your support. So let's get into taking the topics one by one here. And the first item, yep, that's the one, the Chelsea legend, Eden Hazard, is seriously considering hanging up his boots and retiring next summer when his Real Madrid contract expires. There's something actually very funny I read him saying I think he was asked if he's considering leaving Real Madrid, and his response was something to the effect of he wants to enjoy celebrate the final year of his contract. I think, to me, if you ask me, I'd say that's most likely his way of getting back at Real Madrid for the way they treated him. Because hate him or love him, or you can argue all you want that he's not he's not a good professional, or how he doesn't take good care of himself, gaining weight every now and then and all that. I'd say that's beyond it, really. I think they treated him badly. Even when he's fit enough, he hardly gets game time. I think maybe they were treating him that way, given the fact that he loves football so much, and maybe they thought that would push him to opt to leave the club. But he has always reinstated his willingness to stay, fight for his place. But now that comment that I saw, I think it was my bro, CFC for him, that retweeted it. I think it was hilarious at the same time, but it's just reading into it, to me, what I see is that he's trying to get back at them by running down his contract and leaving on a free. And by the way, they won a trophy this past week, which means Chelsea will have to get some. It's payday for Chelsea. I'm not sure if that counts. I think that's the Copa del Rey or something. I'm not sure if we get anything from that. But my point is, they did him dirty. They didn't respect him. They didn't respect his talent, maybe. Because believe me, I think by now he should be one of the best footballers in the world, or maybe nominated for Ballon d'Or 2-3 times, or for how long he's been at Madrid. But they wanted him out. They wanted to force him out, and he's not in a hurry to leave. And yeah, he wants to get back at them by running down his contract and leaving on the free. The part of saying this report here that says he's seriously considering hanging his boots, I don't believe that. He's too good for that to happen. I think even if I think there'll be by the time by the time his contract runs out, there will not be shortage clubs with in the right of frame of mind at this point, given the fact he's been treated as for somebody who loves football that much. I think I'm not sure. I don't believe the fact that that he's going to be hanging his boot soon. How old is he? Actually, let me look it up. I think he should be 32 or so. Let me check. Just quickly. If you're in the chat, just help me quickly. If you can put it in there, I'll say it rather than me searching here. Let me see. Hazard age. One sec, please. Just give me 1 second. I'll come back to you guys in the chat. Oh, 32. So I got that correct. Yeah, so he's not getting any younger, but I don't think he retires at 32. It's too good. It's just too good for that, honestly. Let's see what else we have here. Poch really joins us. I think it's looking like it's gonna happen, but I'm not gonna. I will advise you not to hold your breath on that. As long as that it's not been announced, I would say just take it with a pinch of salt. Just see it as all speculations or rumors. We need Madrid to win a Champions League so we get paid again. Yeah, I take that, but I don't think they will make it to the final. That's how I think. I think City will be too strong for them, except if, as usual, Pep overthinks things again. Just give me 1 second, guys. I have to take care of plugging my microphone so it doesn't go off. I think I forgot to have it plugged in. The wireless dock will go off, and you'll stop hearing me. And I'll probably be going on for about a minute before somebody in the chat taps that you can hear. There you go. It's plugged in now. I think we'll be all right. Yeah. So we'll move on from that. Let's see what else we have lined up here. And I want to get your thoughts. If you're in the chat, do you really think that Eden Hazard will retire from football at the age of 32? Like I've said, I think he's so good for that. I don't see that happening. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also let me know what you make of that news. Do you think it's going to happen? I'd say no. Big up Kachila in the chat. Chelsea all the way, big up to you too. And Chelsea boy, big up to you. Tabaho, my bro from Majibaland. And if by any chance I did not say hello to you before reading your comment, apologies, I'm only human. And hopefully we'll get a studio engineer soon because we're still building our team as the community grows. And this is Javadi Jaffa says, I really hope Poch can bring the best out of all the players that struggled this season because I don't want to see a repeat of this season. Here's the thing. How well I think we've seen on occasion flashes of how good this team can be. I get it. Some people are still adamant that the players are the problems. And that was why I asked one of our panelists here, how many players are we talking about that you could, when you look at the current squad, you say the players are the issues. I think, no, the problems are the reason why we're suffering. I've said no. I think it all comes down to the manager. It all comes down to, multitude of reasons, even that is if we're being objective, if we're being truthful to ourselves. But yeah, every time we do well or beat a team, people start complaining too much about the players. But once we lose a game, it comes, the finger pointing battle picks up again. Let's move on because I don't want to see a repeat of this. I don't think it happens again. I just see it as a blip. But once the dust settles, I don't think we'll see a repeat of what we've been through now. At least under the current ownership, I think they're learning quite a lot. See it how you want to see it. It's a learning process for them. They will experience a lot of stuff that they don't expect to happen. Just like he's admitted they've made mistakes, but we move on from that. I hope he gets rid Sparsing in his blood. And I think here's the thing: he would want to prove them wrong. I think Mauricio Pochettino would want to show Daniel Levy, you see, I could have won a couple of trophies for you, but you weren't investing properly in the squad. So we were ill-equipped to win those finals that we made it to. Keep dropping the likes in the chat, people. You people are absolute legends. We're nearing 50, which means we're not far away from reaching our goal today. 200 likes. Let's make it happen. And if you're in the chat, I keep reminding people to keep dropping the likes in the stream. Let's see what else we have here before we move to the next topic. I forgot to turn back my camera on. Apologies. Fred Juma says it's just a better. We'll finish the season first. Then we have a fresh team reviewed. At least we should have an experienced coach. I wouldn't use the term reviewed. It wouldn't make any sort of sense after spending 600 plus 600 million pounds. Then you start rebuilding the team. No, I don't see that happening, and I think that's not going to happen. But the question I just asked you is, what do you make of the reports that Eden Hazard is considering retiring from football? Do you think it will happen? I think it's too good for that to happen at the age of 32. There will be so many clubs looking to take him, even when he still has a year left on his contract or on a free, that he'd reconsider if in fact he's considering retiring, which I don't believe really. Let's move on from that. This here says, smash the like button, people, and the likes to go a long way. Thank you so much for saying that. Chelsea all the way. What else do we have here? Tobias, is it Rydquist? Eden to Wrexham. West Ham, is that what you're saying? I'm not sure what to make of that comment. But big up everyone. Big up to you too, brother. Big up Kimso, and congratulations to you again. And thank you for setting up Peppa quickly. I didn't know it was going to be that easy. And you got your the giveaway, which you won, which $50. You got the equivalent in euros yesterday. So congratulations to you once more. We move on from that. Big up, coach. Big up to you too, brother. Hazard should go to Serie A clubs like AC Milan or Inter Milan. Will suit him. I'd say AC Milan. They like experienced players so much. I think he'd excel in Italy. But if we actually decide to bring him back, I'll take him really. And I think he'd jump at the opportunity to come back to Chelsea because Chelsea, he will feel like, where he showed the best form of his life. It's Chelsea's home to Hazard, and if he comes home, I think he'd be fine. I think he'd make the most of the rest of remaining years with his footballing career. Or Hazard should go to Al Hilal and be another star in the Saudi League. They may well again look to sign him if he's going to be, if he has just a year left on his contract, as we're told. Let's see what happens. But Pochettino's wife has revealed he's in London ahead of Chelsea move, according to Mail. That's with regard to an Instagram post that she made. Being in London, to me, is no guarantee that he will be the next Chelsea manager. How about the possibility of he's in London to still see if there's a possibility for Spurs to rehire him? So that's a possibility too. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 46 likes. Let's get it to 50 as soon as possible. And also shoot for 100. But our aim today is to reach 200. Okay, you're just having a conversation with Bruce Kip there. And I think I see, big up to you too, Duke Simba. I see my bro, Mikhail. Always nice to see you, bro. I think you're just stopping by to support a beat because I know you're a very busy man. Blue morning, Kachila. Blue morning to you too, brother. He says, Blue morning blues. That's hello to everybody there. Congrats on securing EPL for next year. Keep the blue flag flying high in it. Yeah, I think that's something I did not expect Chelsea fans to be saying. We're staying up. And actually, they sang a song, that has lyrics saying something to that effect. And so I couldn't believe it that this is happening to us. But like I said, I think they've learned the hard thing. I think it's a learning process for them. And I'm sure they will never make such mistake again. That's going to lead to us suffering as much as we've suffered so far this season. But big up to you, more importantly, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Mourinho, 100%. Yes, he can make us this delinquent teenagers behave. But the thing is that I don't think Mourinho will take this job. I think that's what I think. But I would take him, even though I've always said that he's not progressive enough for me. But at least we'll be winning games. One game per week can benefit us to avoid injuries and help Pochettino incorporate its tactics. Yep, I'm happy that we will not be involved in any European competition in the coming season. And hopefully, even if we win our remaining games, it will not get us anywhere close to that. I get it. Financial incentives will follow. You can say if we make it into any European competition. But I think I'd rather us don't have any European assignments at the coming season. I think that would do us a world of good. But he coached the Spurs. Okay, I see you are unfair to Pochettino. To me, I've looked beyond the fact that he coached Spurs. I've taken my time to look at this situation to realize, I think this man is actually a good manager. Levy did not just didn't invest properly in the Tottenham squad when he was their manager. Had he done that, I think you could argue chances are he could have won them one trophy or two. How goes the Poch watch? Yeah, we're still watching that Pochettino to see if the club if it's going to be announced when. I don't know, not no specific time. We'll just keep watch until he's announced. And I see you're trademarking it. copyrighted and trademarked by Mikhail Poch. I like that. But big up to you, brother. Coach, bro, that's Justice Aqua. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Please, the people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much. Sincerely do appreciate all your support. I knew Poch was waiting to see if we would stay in the league before accepting the contract. I think I suspect that too. Forget all the nonsense. I don't think he would have said, "Oh, okay, let me just take it." Where he was, we still when the possibility was still there that we could get relegated. I think it was a smart thing for him, and I don't blame him. Although you could say elite managers count him as an elite manager or not, I think surviving relegation will be crucial to him accepting the contract offer. You could argue that actually Nagelsmann pulled out because he wasn't sure, given how badly things were going for us. He wasn't too sure if we're going to stay up, so he had to pull out and make, then we heard all the excuses we heard out there. But that's why the way we've moved on from Nagelsmann. At this point, bring in Pochettino. I want him, honestly. And I'm being truthful. Blue Morning Kachila panel in charge. Celestino Vietti, nice to see you, bro. We are at 50 likes already, people. I think we're doing well. We may well reach 200 likes today. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So I have not heard anything from the people in the chat. Let me just phrase it this way. Let's start by talking about why did you think Hazard, you could say, yeah, he failed at Madrid. How much he's earning weekly and how much they're paying for him. And the fact that every time they win or something, it's payday for Chelsea. I want to know what you make of the situation and the fact that we're now hearing that he's seriously considering hanging his boot, which I think will not happen. Hazard is just too good to retire at the age of 32. So I want to get your thoughts with regards to that news. Then we can move on to the next topic. Let me see what else we have there. And while you are in it, while you are still at it, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. This says, blue morning to you too, bro. I hope you're doing well. And Jones, Kobe Jones, just joined. What's going on? We're talking about, I think you heard everything I just said. So I want to get your thoughts in the chat. And Kobe, more importantly, thank you for joining the community. I think this is your first time here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Coach, I told Rodrigo too that Mbappe Pochettino was waiting if we're safe. Oh, yeah. Maybe, so to speak. I think it's an intelligent thing to do. He's not stupid. He's took his time, probably making up excuses to delay and see if we're staying up or not. Which if I were the man myself, I'd do the same thing. If that makes sense. Let's see what else do we have here. The fact that Mudryk and Madueke falls back in defense when Chelsea don't have the ball. I think everything comes down to the mind of the manager. I can't say this enough. The fact that again one player who's could be, for instance, Rudiger. I often do use Rudiger as an example, and believe me, he's a prime example. He was awful at one point. Yeah, I know Frank Lampard didn't help his case, but at one point he was very awful. Even he admits that he is actually what people say. He was what people say he was at the time because he was very poor. But under Thomas Tuchel, he became one of our most valuable player, most important player, maybe, for lack of a better term. So that highlights the fact that how a player plays and how well a player does, you could say in most cases, comes down to the manager's demands of the player. You saw Madueke returning. He did well defensively, same thing as Mudryk. So, so I'm not shocked that that's happening. So the manager can change the way, impact in the way a player plays. So let me say, manager has the power to wield great influence on how a player applies themselves on the pitch. If that players apply themselves on the pitch, So thank you for all the support. Let's keep going, people. For 54 likes, let's get the likes up. Let's get it to 60 and shoot for 100. Reports are Chelsea will appoint Poch before the Nottingham Forest game at the weekend, according to 90 minutes. It's everywhere. I'm not going to believe anything right now. After all, like I've mentioned in a few days ago, after all, we thought it will most definitely that Julian Nagelsmann will most definitely emerge as the new Chelsea manager, and that did not happen. Elvis Ochiri sounds like an Igbo name, correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever meaning they get, wherever language, wherever you're from, you're welcome. Fill at home, and please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. He says, good analysis, guys. So watching live from Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa. Big up, my bro. That sounds like a Nigerian name. I'm serious. I have a Kenyan friend, John Ndisu, and I love him so much. But unfortunately, I moved to a different state, but we do speak. I haven't seen that from our wingers for a while, which was why I did argue that how a player applies himself on the pitch comes down to the manager's demand. So the manager can impact how a player apply himself, if that makes sense. 70 watching, smash the like button, people. We are not going down. We're not going down. Yep, we were champions of Europe. No, we are not going down. Yeah, I think I cannot believe that this is us at Chelsea celebrating not getting relegated. Unfortunately, that's where we found ourselves in. But I think I'll just call it a bleep. A bleep maybe in our club history, one that I believe the current owners will learn from, and I do believe they will never make such a mistake again. That has led to us finding ourselves in such precarious situation. That we actually feared getting relegated. I think they will learn quite a lot from it. Except if new owners comes in and then try to reinvent the wheel again, we may well find ourselves in such a situation. But I think these owners don't look like they are the type that will aim to sell the club in the future. It all comes to trust and breeds breeds confidence. Chelsea boy, you can't argue that. But yeah, we move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. I haven't heard anything. It looks like that topic, those in the chat are really not interested in the Eden Hazard situation, the fact that he's considering retiring at the age of 32. I'm going to get your thoughts, but if you don't feel like talking about it, we may well have to move to the next topic lined up for the day. People, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the wonderful support. We have nearly 30 members already, but it's 20 plus, with Wally Waldo gifting 10 members with a membership, and my Barcelona friend Lolo gifting 5 members to my membership to our followers here, members of the community. So thank you. We keep growing. It all comes down to trust, and it breeds confidence. That's the truth. A shout out to the Chelsea mopping the floor with Everton 7-0. Yep, the Chelsea women, they were, I was thinking, even though I was busy watching, I think it was Arsenal game, but I regret, I should have watched the women's game because it was on TV too. Was that the game after the Barcelona game? I think they played one other game, but you could say this counts as the reaction after that loss to Barcelona. Yeah, keep the blue flag flying high, ladies. And yeah, they've been excellent. Let's see what else we have here. 3-1. It's just ringing in the air. Yep. It was a good performance overall. The changes, and some credit to Frank Lampard for making the changes he made, and also for realizing, like I said, to me, we won that game. We saw a much better, performance from the players. The fact that I think he dropped nearly 4 or 5 players, and that made a whole lot of difference, because had they started the players that lost the previous game, chances are we'd still see a crop of players lacking in confidence and could have lost that game also, because they had chances. But on the day, I think we're also a bit. We were also a bit pragmatic too. We didn't just play well. I think when on occasions where they are in our box, we had a lot of people behind We had lots of people behind the ball. So whenever they tried to shoot, he hit somebody, and I think that worked. So credit to him. Keep dropping the likes in the chat, people. Let's get the likes up. And if you haven't, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes to go a long way. Thank you so much for all the wonderful support. We keep growing together. Okay, it looks like nobody is interested in discussing Eden Hazard situation. We move on from that and to the next topic here. Just give me 1 second. Let me make sure I did not forget to share the link with the panelists. Okay, I did. Everybody's busy. And let's see what else we have. This says Jose Mourinho refused a Chelsea advance. And that's from Fabrice Hawkins. I wonder why that is. Even though you can argue, we shouldn't believe this. I don't know what to make of it. Do I think there's a chance he may have refused a Chelsea advance? You could say yes, for a multitude of reasons. The fact that he could think maybe he may look at it and say we're everywhere. Actually, we are everywhere. So I don't blame him for saying no to us. But there's no way telling if that's in fact the case. But you let me know if you're in the chat what you make of the news that he rejected us. I'm not sure what to make of it, honestly. I'm not sure what to make of the news that Jose Mourinho refuses. Some are saying, I've heard people say that he was actually waiting for Chelsea to give him a call with regards to the managerial to the vacancy at the club. Now we're hearing something, the opposite. So what do you make of it if you're in the chat? Sorry, I think I'm having issues loading my presentation images. I'm not sure why that is. But I'm going to find a way to load them. This says, Giovanni Jafta says, I cannot believe Hazard is considering retiring. I don't think that will happen. I think he will end up playing for a lower team. I don't think he will actually play for a lower team. Here's what we're going to say. Maybe if you're saying a lower team like Al Nassr, the Saudi Arabian side, which Cristiano Ronaldo plays for, maybe a club in UAE, possibly, and that will pay him quite a lot of money. I think he'd go there. Except if you're counting them as a low club. But I think big clubs like Newcastle United, who's still polishing their brand, and they're capable of, accommodating his salary, even if it means paying him something 300 plus weekly. I think it will help their brand. I think they wouldn't hesitate taking him if it's available. There's a chance also Chelsea will not hesitate taking him back if it's available, especially on a free. And it looks like, and from what we've heard, his response to the question whether he's considering leaving Real Madrid, which he said something to the effect of he's planning on celebrating his last year as a Real Madrid player, showed he's planning on living on a free, which means we may well go for him. I don't know. There's a chance we go for him because Chelsea is home for him, and I think he will make a whole lot of difference for us because I still think there's a good player in him. Let's see. So I think you and I are the same. I honestly deep down do not believe that Hazard will be retiring soon. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 80 plus people watching, and we have just 60 likes. We should be doing better than that. We should have at least 70 likes. Let's get it to 70 and shoot for 100. I can't believe he's retiring too. Let's see what we have here. Lampard dropped players because he listened to what fans wanted. Maybe because he's smart enough to learn from his mistakes, or to look at the numbers during the game, or to even rewatch the games and see how poor some of those players he selected, how poor they were in that game. Multiple sources are saying that, coach, saying what exactly? Because it means I'd have to find your last comment to understand what you're referencing here. You have to, elaborate even further for me to understand. Good day. All nice to be back. PJ Kelly, always nice to see you. I get it. We're all busy and bills don't pay themselves. But thank you for finding the time to join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's get it. Let's shoot for 100. We're at 60 likes right now, but we should be doing better. Honestly, how true is it? I guess only time tells whether or not it's true. But Jose has stated how much he's enjoying his time with Roma. That's a point. And some people will bring up the argument that how about how often he expressed his love for Chelsea. That's a different thing altogether. The point is, if Joseph weren't sure, if at the time that the club's hierarchy, tried to reach out to him with regards to the vacancy of the top job at Chelsea, if he wasn't sure that we were going to stay up, I think he'd reject their advances. Also, so I think it makes sense to a certain extent. Plus, he's doing well at Roma. Maybe they promised him they're going to spend a big to get him the player he wants. Because chances are, if you look at how well they did, if they had better players, they'd be winning the Scudetto. And they'd emerge as the Scudetto and winners, and not Napoli. If that makes sense. Let's see. And Ochiri here says the legends will agree with me. The legends will agree with me that every time Chelsea performs poorly, it must be a threat in Europe. The following season, the next season is ours. At least the Premier League. But the next season may possibly be ours. May well be ours, because I think it's become a pattern. If you paid attention to how well we've done, you could say from the time of Di Matteo, every time we have a bad season, the following season usually we bounce back, and in most cases do better than most people expect us to do. So I'm still saying this. I think we'll do well. We do even better than a lot of people expect us to do the coming season. We have a very, very strong squad, a very, very talented squad. Plus, the club's plan to sign 1, 2, or maybe 3 players. I think that will make a huge difference, as long as those signings are strategic signings, priority signings to help solve major issues. For instance, a striker, an attacking midfielder, central attacking midfielder, and a defensive midfielder. I think that will go a long way. If they do that, then we'll be cooking something special the coming season. Keep dropping the likes out in the chat, people, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you want to become a member, the link to the membership is pinned at the very top. It costs $2.99 monthly to help us continue with our Stay in School project, where we support students, and also the channel, the community, the channel will benefit from it. Personally, I don't think Jose is the perfect fit for CFC now. The fact that he cannot develop young players, we would have had a Salah, a KDB 2.0 with all these, with all this young talent that we have. Here's the thing: that is, you could say that is factual to a certain, considerable extent. But we must be careful what names we add to that list. KDB wanted to leave, Mo wanted to keep him. Salah had to go out on loan because we had players who were more experienced than him and weren't doing that bad. Had Salah not opted to go out on loan, I think Mo would have loved to keep him. So in some cases, we just have to be careful the names we're plugging when we talk about Jose Mourinho not being the type to develop young players. That is factual to a considerable extent. But my advice is be sure the names we're plugging when we make that comment. Keep dropping the likes in the chat, people. We have 95 people watching. We should be doing better than 64 likes. Let's see. I don't think so, because no major outlet has spoken Mourinho. It could have been an initial contact, maybe, to test the waters to see if it's interested. Poch is the only horse in the one-horse race. This week is pivotal for make or break. You could say that. I think they're going to announce him. And like I said before, I think maybe that's just a theory. That's not me saying that I'm too sure. I'm certain that's the case. They may well have to, be delaying his announcement. Maybe there's a chance they're not going to announce him until the end of the season. So however badly things end, because I get it, we're staying up, but things could still end badly for us. We could get battered by the teams we have left to play before the season ends. So maybe they just, announce Pochettino at the end of the season, and then, cheer everybody up. At least we see a new manager coming in. That will make a whole lot of difference. If you get I hope I'm able to convey my point effectively to you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 66 likes, people. Let's move the likes up. Likes to go a long way. Once more, I'm appealing to those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat. Just know that we appreciate you. You provide great value to the channel. You viewing alone does go a long way. But if you can do us one tiny bitty favor, please take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes will go a long way. It would trigger the YouTube algorithm and get it to push the stream to more people who would be interested in the topics we have lined up for today's show. But thank you for that comment there, Jerry Z. I appreciate that. That is very, very well. That is very, very well put there. It's crazy. We Hazard, Mata. We had Hazard, Mata, Salah, Lukaku, and De Bruyne all in the squad, and just it cost us to lose those players because he was so focused on winning in the present and not our future. I should mean to, even though I still have so again a question. I still argue that some of those players wanted to leave. Lukaku, not Lukaku. Lukaku was too young, and I think he wanted to go out and learn himself. Also, Mata wasn't wanted to leave. Hazard, but Hazard stayed. Hazard again. I think he's established. He's already an established player before Jose come back for his second stint as Chelsea manager. De Bruyne wanted to leave. He wanted to be starting games, and that cannot be guaranteed at the time because we had the likes of big name players who were more established players in the squad then who play in that advanced attacking role, and you can say we're better than him at the point. And he wanted to leave. Here's the thing. Yeah, we had those players again at the time, but do you blame Jose for wanting to win, for wanting instant success at the point? Knowing fully well how the owner then operates, yeah, the priority for the man is rightly to win instantly, to achieve instant success. So I don't blame him that much. So were the other managers who were hired and fired. They wanted to win. They wanted to achieve instant success because that's what it takes to keep your job at Chelsea at the point. There's no, you don't have the time to start developing young players. You can accommodate them every now and then when the opportunity calls, but not to the extent of just making it the project. No, yeah. But that's by the way. We move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Jorginho was slandered from pillar to post by Chelsea fans. He slows, not physical. I am sure that's what is happening in Arsenal. Here's the thing. I'm not going to get into that argument. I didn't want him to leave, but I knew he was going to leave before time. I knew the moment. It is the same with every player, no matter how you see it. Once they get to the final year of their contract and realizing that there's a chance they leave on a free, get a sign-on fee, which comes in bulk. Again, in most cases, which comes in bulk. In most cases, it'd be very difficult for the club to offer them something that when they weigh it against how much they get as a free agent, it will not come close to that. I knew Jorginho will most likely leave. So the club, I don't blame them too because they made the business decision. Jorginho would have left the club as a free agent. So they saw an opportunity to make some money from him, and they took the opportunity. Do I think it was a good idea? No, I hated it. I would have loved actually for him to stay. And even if he ends up living on the free, I think we'll gain more in the sense that we will not be struggling this much. He can actually play alongside Enzo Fernandez, but I don't want to get into that argument. We'll move on. We'll all see things from different lenses. Some people thought Jorginho was the main issue we had. But that's by the way. And again, as much as I want him to succeed at Arsenal, I would say I think they will at one point turn on him because the mistakes will come, given how he plays, given how much whatever team he plays for, how much that team's approach, how much they play through him. I think the mistakes will come, and probably they won't take it lightly, especially if they end up not winning the Premier League. Arsenal, we're really going to talk about Jorginho. Let's move on from that, really. Let's not talk about that. Mata was getting a goal up front. I think he was doing more assists than goals, actually, or an assist every game or other for us. And Mourinho, which with his defensive tactics, benched Mata and shipped him to Manchester United. and we lost a lot of quality after that. Emenalo was cooking. There are too many, reasons why. Again, you can argue Mata left. He wasn't Mourinho's favorite player, and that's nothing. Again, you don't need a scientist to see that. Mata isn't the best defensively, and he isn't the best the best in terms of from the physical aspect of the game and all that. But let's move on from that, please. Let's not be going from one topic to the other. It can be energy draining. Let's move on. What else do we have here? It says KDB wanted to cook him because Mourinho didn't give him a chance. A chance. Okay, he asked him to go alone, and he will get his chance. And the kid was so desperate, he got injured in preseason. I remember that after taking a shot outside the box. I think it was in the United States also. But let's move on, please. Good morning, Coach, and everyone. Good morning to you too, Ladi Pupo. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. The likes, I sincerely do appreciate you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're at 71 likes, 29 more likes to get it to 100. We can do that. But like I've always said, only if you feel we can. Let's move on to this one. Dr. Phil says, Mourinho, very poor manager. To me, the only issue I have with Mourinho is that he's not being progressive enough. And that's that. Though I think he's a good tactician, he's a great tactician, actually. He can win your games no matter how weak the squad is. He finds a way to win. MLL was cooking. I don't want to get into that argument, but let me just do you one more favor and read that one. But please, let's keep the topics online. Let's not deviate too much from the topic. It was cooking our team for the next decade, and Mourinho ripped it up, and Conte came and turned us into a 3 at the back match, and our ability to mount a title challenge disappeared. Let's see, Mourinho's this is Mourinho's terrible decision. So I threw an egg on his head. I'm not sure. I couldn't make sense of that one. Sorry. We didn't need Mourinho in our team, please. We don't. I think I agree with you. Let's see anything else to get there. Ivan Tonet is very good. I agree, but let's not going back and forth topics. I think it can be energy draining. Pochettino's partner Karina posted on her Instagram page showing a view of some greenery, with the caption London followed by a cloud emoji. But here's the thing, I'm going to say that again. Tottenham is a London club. How about if he's considering, if they've made an offer to him and he's considering Tottenham too, there's no way to tell. So he didn't show Stamford Bridge. Had she done that, then you would say clearly that's a giveaway that Pochettino is coming to Chelsea.
He still lives in London, Coach.
Sorry?
His family's still in London.
That's another thing to consider. His family still lives in London. I don't think we should blame Joseph. Very many players have left their former clubs and became better elsewhere. There must be a transfer. You cannot keep everybody every time. That's another way to see it. But that's, by the way, Ivan Toney will be good for Chelsea. We'll get to that. And I'm hearing we're seriously looking at him. When is Pochettino coming to Chelsea, Coach? Emmanuel Mbagnezi, let me pronounce that, Mbangenzi. I don't know, brother. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. And let me bring Rodrigo in immediately. Big up, brother. And let's start. If you're interested in talking about Hazard Hinton, that he could be hanging his boots soon. He may be hanging his boots soon. And his response to a question where, when he was asked, is he considering leaving Real Madrid? And he said something to the effect of that he's planning to celebrate his last year as a Real Madrid player. To me, I said I see that as him. He's seen that as a way of getting back at them. I think they've tried to force him out. It hasn't worked. And I think he's going to run down his contract and leave on a free as a way of getting back at Madrid and all that. But retiring at 32, I think he's too good for that. Other clubs will come for him. But what do you make of that, Rodrigo?
I think maybe he's lost the passion anyways. I think this guy's he retired a long time ago. He retired when he left Chelsea, really. I think. What has he done since he left us? He's been injured.
How Real Madrid treated him. That's partly the reason why maybe if you feel like he's lost the passion, that may well be.
Himself, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
He didn't help himself. The first preseason, when he signed for such a big fee, he turns up to training, he turns up to preseason overweight. I mean, what Hazard is suffering from the years of, because obviously this guy is naturally talented, he's gifted, and you heard it from John Obi Mikel, you heard it from for actually a number of former Chelsea players, even Lampard. You always hear that he doesn't take training seriously. He just turns up and he performs. You can do that when you're in your 20s, when your body recovers quickly. But as he approaches his 30s, he needed to take care more of himself. I don't think he did enough. He's suffering from that. So I think is maybe what he needs is I don't think he's gonna retire. I think 32 is, like you said, is way too young. So he might get another.
Plus, that talent is still there. I think
the talent is there. Talent never goes. Talent never goes. I think he like right now. Obviously, I don't expect him to be running up and down the wing. He can play. He can even play centrally as a 10 or as a second striker. The talent is there, 100%. But I don't think any top club will go in for him. He might even go back to Belgium or maybe MLS, something like that. But it's such a shame because the guy is 32, is nothing. He should still be playing at a very high level.
Mm-hmm. So what do you mean? I know we've talked about him being a lazy professional, like we've heard from a lot of former Chelsea players. But do you think Madrid also did? Don't you think they did him dirty too? I don't think they respect his talent.
No, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't. They never. It's like they didn't like build a team. They didn't put him in the best situation for him to perform well. I watched a couple of times when you can see the guys. Come on, he's been fit. He's been training. I don't know how hard, but he's on the bench. Ancelotti would decide to play a kid from the academy. That is just ahead of him, ahead of someone that you signed for. I don't know how much they spend, 120, 130 million pounds. They'll rather play a kid from the academy. So when you see that, so maybe he also gave up soccer. He remember in an interview he said, I think it was from Belgium TV. He said, I haven't spoken to Ancelotti for months. So they'll go months without speaking. So you wouldn't even know why he's not playing. Or
they really did try to push him out.
They tried. Yeah.
That's tried.
That's the thing with Madrid. They like the way they treat some of their former players or players that they want to get rid of is very, very disgraceful. They've done that. They did it to Gareth Bale. They did it to one of the players that we signed, Makelele.
I think they did it to Kaká to some extent.
Exactly. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, they didn't want to offer him a new contract, or they didn't want to give him what maybe they agreed and stuff. So yeah, they don't care. I mean, that's Madrid.
I think they can be brutal to their players. I'll come back to you in a bit and ask you a question with regards to the case of Jose Mourinho that he refused us. I keep dropping the likes. If you're watching people, 79 likes, we need 21 more to get it to 100. We can get there as soon as possible. If you say Mourinho is bad manager, it's one of the ignorant talks. I don't call Mourinho a bad manager. I just say that he's not progressive enough. But I guess you're responding to somebody in the chat there. It's one of the ignorant talks I ever heard. We had Makalele, we had Asen, we had Balak. Where do you think? Yeah, exactly. I think KDB, there was no space for him at that point, and he was. I think
no, KDB wasn't there. No. KDB wasn't there. When we had these guys, KDB wasn't there.
Who was there? I think we had a few players that were better then that were playing in advanced roles where the space where he should have gotten game time. But there were better players at the point.
Oscar,
he was still a kid.
Oscar. That KDB is a different generation. It's not the same generation as Balak, Essien. No. He's a different. He's the Oscar.
Who players we had then?
Yeah, Oscar Matt. What's the German guy? Oscar Mata, the German guy. Schürrle.
Andrew Schürrle.
Andrew Schürrle. He had these kind of players. Mo Salah. Yeah, that's the generation.
But you can say the others you mentioned were more hardworking at the point.
No, KDB, I don't know if you remember. Remember that preseason? He was very good. He was very good. And the loan he had at now Wolfsburg, I can't remember, in Germany. He was really good. So he came for preseason. He was one of the best players in preseason. So that's how Mourinho put him in the team for the first few games in the season. But yeah, he just didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work really, and he wasn't that good at the point. But he had the talent, and he wasn't patient. You could argue that, but let's move on from that. This is big up to you too, Martin. I hope you're doing well. Mourinho, very poor. That's your argument. I think he's an excellent tactician. I just don't think he's progressive enough. That's how I see it. Mourinho is a great coach, but he didn't evolve with modern football. That's my opinion. I think if he wants to win, he wants to win. He doesn't care how dirty it is. I do not regret Jorginho sell. I'm not going to regret it either. You cannot get things every way you want it. Many players will leave in the summer, and we can't keep them all. It's as simple as that. I'm just saying, to me, clearly, I would have loved them to stay, but they made a business decision. We move on from that. And my bro, Bobby Fairview, back again today. Looks like you have a bit of time to join us here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. If you haven't, the likes will go a long way. We have 79 likes. Let's get it to 80 and shoot for 100 as soon as possible. Remember, the aim is to get it to 200 likes today, and I still believe we can do that. After the naivety of this project, we still think we don't need someone like Mourinho. After what we've been through, we're still backing a young players project and progressive football. Here's the thing, progressive in football in the sense it doesn't really mean, I'm quite sure you understand what I mean. The football has changed quite a lot, and Mourinho doesn't care about that. You can still win and still win in a pretty way. I don't know how else to explain it to better to better again get my point across, but I know you understand. Here's the thing, I would take him, I think, but here's one question I asked. I think if he comes in with the current squad, I think there will be lots of changes. I don't think it would just be a few changes here and there. I think he'd need more signings that would end up spending nearly how much we've spent already.
Don't we need that anyways?
Sorry?
I think we need a lot of changes in this squad.
Possibly, but I think they probably end up signing only at most 3 players in the summer. That's how I see it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So I don't think, given the financial situation, how much we've lost, I don't think they'll be spending that much money, if you get what I mean. So they will be cautious. It will be a gradual process, and I don't think. So I'm not shocked that with Mourinho he refused the club's advances to him. Yeah,
I think it's unfair to say. I think it's unfair to say Mourinho doesn't play progressive football. If you remember the season we won the league, the first half of that season. I don't think there was a better footballing team in a country than Chelsea. The season we had Fabregas, what's his guy, Costa, Hazard. That team, the football were playing all the way up to, I think, up to when we lost to Tottenham. I think we lost 5-3. Was it? Up to that point, we were the best team in the country. Like the way we're playing, and then
it's where go ahead.
Toward the end of the season, yeah, we were more pragmatic, parking the bus and stuff. But yeah.
And that's the thing. He doesn't do. He plays. He lets the players express themselves. When we play teams that were much stronger than. But once you're strong enough as us, he wouldn't mind packing the bus and hitting you on a break. It's just to me, I'd say if there's such thing as being too pragmatic, I think that's how it's always been his issue. If you're strong enough, he wouldn't mind coming into the game with a strategy of defending deep and hitting you on a break. Yeah, but fans at one point got tired of that approach, if that makes sense. And my bro also says that the time for all this experimentation and youth nonsense is over. Chelsea needs to find its identity, and Mourinho would do that. This is the most important thing right now. Unfortunately, let's look at that again. This says that Jose Mourinho refused Chelsea advances. So yeah, just move on from that. Probably didn't like the setup of the club at this moment, or maybe felt like this isn't going to work for him. That's how I see it. So we're just talking about him because, he refused the club's advances. He didn't want to come to us. Anyway, this says, hello, coach. Hello to you too, JC. The Celtic season is finished. It is that time where you have to pronounce. Okay, can we discuss the man? Maybe eventually this is happening. I can't even say his name. Angie, is it Angie Postacoglu? Maybe another day. We have topics lined up today, but big up to you, bro. What a way to announce your arrival in the stream here. What else we have? Let me see. Catch up quickly, so I come bring in Rodrigo quickly. If Hazard wants to retire, he can do so. It's up to him. I will sleep comfortably. Yeah, it's painful because we love him. I've been there, done that. Big up to you, Air Comics. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 18 more likes to get it to 100. Hazard is his own problem. He does not put hard work into his career. Mourinho said he is talented but does not work hard enough. A lot of people have said that. Even former Chelsea players have said that openly. He predicted Hazard cannot be world best because of lack of good work ethic. You can argue that. Just need a strong manager willing to win without packing bosses. That's another way to see it. Mourinho only packs bosses, basically a bus driver in disguise. Jose would just turn Mudryk and Madryk into a bus packers. It seems I've seen that movie. Not interested. I would rather be miserable under Lampard than packing buses. I'd rather Mourinho on the Lampard, really, if I'm being honest here. Hazard winning Oscar Sala, Andrew Scholler, Hazard in winning were better than him. Let's see, Coach. I have a feeling it's between Angie and Frank Lampard. The delay is due to Boehly thinking long and hard about how to present one of them to us. Wow. Okay. The profile of our team suits Poch, his high press approach, high octane system perfectly. I think I agree with you. We're in for exciting times, and I believe Poch can win titles with us. As Spurs, he was held back by Levy. Not investing that much in the squad. But the truth remains, the fact that he was once a Tottenham manager is not something that can be easily swept under the rug. But that's, by the way, when I watch Roma play, I feel like crying, really depressing, not to just say, he just wants to win the games. That's the thing. But at one point, I felt like that's actually what we need. But the man doesn't want to come. Does that mean we even picked Raul Meireles over KDB? I'm not sure. I'm not going to go into details so I don't misinform you. I agree enough of pack the bus. A lot of Chelsea fans got tired of that. But at one point, given what we're going through, I actually wanted him over anybody else. Big up, Blue Farm. Big up yourself, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. 15 more likes, people, to get it to 100. Let's make it happen and see if we can get 200 by the time the show ends. We had Mata, Oscar, Hazard, Scholler, Matic, Mikel Sala, Fabregas, Willian, and De Bruyne. Okay, all those sets together. Yep, okay. Is that Rodrigo in the panel? That's Rodrigo. Rodrigo, here's somebody that's been looking for you for a while. Contender FC. Yeah. I don't know if it's shipped the gift. If he has shipped the gift he has for you to your address. Does the panic bus still exist?
Transfer window. Wait till the summer.
Well, that's when you should pull up.
Yeah.
Let's see something here. Let's see. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and bring in Rodrigo. Enough with a Jurassic Football, a.k.a. Pack the Boss. Wow, what a name. Reno is not going anywhere. Let's see what else we have here. It doesn't make sense to buy young players. And the point is Jose, Jose with his history of young players. Yeah, to a considerable extent, you can argue he doesn't can work well with young players. Coach, don't blame me later, but if Lampard finishes this season with all wins, he is staying. Don't blame me for not predicting. Do you want to win all remaining matches now? I don't think he stays, no matter what happens. I think they've seen enough. They probably knows that as a manager, he's not there yet. Let me just be respectful a bit. At the time, go ahead.
You heard what Lampard said in in an article from the Athletics. He's already
No, what
said,
did he say?
he said the next job I will consider more carefully. But hey, I knew what I came here for. It's Chelsea, and I had to come in and do a job. So he knows he's not staying.
No, he's not staying. If they win, I would honestly, if he wins the remaining games, even if he beats Manchester City 12 goals to nothing and he stays, then I know the owners don't learn. They're not paying attention. Honestly. At that time, KDB is whatever you said, bro, y'all gotta remember him. If he didn't get out from Chelsea that time, bro, I just admit we're not a good there's a chance he may not be as good again as I see it today. Become as good as he's become. Let's see what else we have here. I have been looking for the statistics man. Rodrigo, you're in trouble. He feels like you're the statistic man here. so yeah, it feels like Postecoglou suits of their profile of yes man more than Poch. Will not be surprised if Boehly and co avoid all elite managers. I don't think they're hiring that manager. I think somebody just added him to that list. When in doubt, double down FC. And let's see what else we have here. Pack the Bus only works in cup competitions. And Rodrigo, here's a start question for you. How much a confident level would you say Poch joining us? Okay, Rodrigo, you go ahead and answer that since he has asked you that question.
That's a tough one. I'm surprisingly, I'm not very confident. I'll put it. I'll say 60-40.
You think he's bailed?
60% is coming because come on, nothing has been signed yet, so I don't know. I don't want to get too excited and say yes, coming. Yeah.
So you think he's bailed?
Yeah, maybe he has second thought. My preferred candidate was Enrique. So the longer this takes, maybe they go back to Enrique.
Yeah, I think I saw Glenn somewhere. Did I skip his comment? Big up, Glenn. Big up, brother. I hope you're doing well. Always nice to see you. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, we're here. I've said hello to you. It says, but Lampard got the better of Bournemouth. Like I've said, give him credit. I think he did well. The structure he decided to deploy worked. You can say he worked to a considerable extent. And the players, his selection. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that game, right, the Bournemouth is the first time I saw a Lampard team, and I saw it. I literally saw it, right. This is Lampard, but obviously that's not good enough because one thing the gap between the midfielders, Lampard still after 3 years he still hasn't learned. The gap between Enzo and the 2-8 is too big. It's way too big. You need to learn to be more compact, but. It was the best performance so far under him. He reminded me of remember that season before Tuchel came in?
Yeah, we were trying to outscore everybody.
Yeah, we were on a run of winning games, and then in December everything collapsed. There was games like that. I remember we played Burnley away, we won 3-0. You can see Lampard imprint tonight. And that's 4-3-3, having the 2-8 push very wide, closer to overload on a wing, but leaving your DM in space alone and not even trying to invert a fullback. That's where Lampard keep getting it wrong. Hopefully, he'll learn to set up a team defensively better for his next job. Because, man, Bournemouth for cutting us apart.
They had chances, but I think you could argue we were actually a bit pragmatic too. Every time they were in our box, we had lots of players behind the box.
Yeah.
Behind the ball, so to speak. Coach, if you want to teach Boehly, please invite him to the panel. I promise we will be polite. Okay, I will try and do that. At that time, KDB is just a teenager who needs to get kicked in the nuts. I think that's the correct way to say it. And he needed more game time. And had he stayed, that wouldn't have happened at Chelsea. And I think he doesn't have anything against Chelsea because there's a chance had he stayed at Chelsea, he wouldn't be the KDB he is today. Let's hope he doesn't beat Man City. If Arsenal wins the league because Lamps beat Man City, I may never forgive him. I think I've heard someone else say something to that effect. Bro, forgot how a good KDB was on loan before coming back to Chelsea. Even he made assists against Hull City at that time. Okay, let's see. Only 60%. That's modest. I think that's with regard to your response. Damn, bro. That's not even first standard deviation. Yeah, it's not. Let's see. This 99% for me as a sporting director, Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley are close to completing the Blues hunt for a new manager, with the Athletic claiming that process will be completed in the coming days. An announcement will follow. Let's see. But lost on the topic. But I keep seeing Rafinha reports from pretty reliable sources. Not sure about that one. He did leave us hanging for Barca. If anything, I think he insulted us. I don't want him at my club. That's my opinion. But there's a chance if the owner seriously want him, he comes back.
Do we need him?
We don't need him. And plus, he's too one-dimensional, too. I don't think, he's one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want him at Chelsea. It's a signing that wouldn't make sense, that we will regret. I think it's just nonsense. Journalists are pushing narratives to probably driven, sponsored by his camp to get him a place in the Premier League. Go ahead. You were saying something, Rodrigo. Okay, I think he's busy. He's excusing himself. Let's see. We'll move on from that. I think it's absolute nonsense. I wouldn't make too much of that. Look at Gallagher, bro. It's not long ago. People say he has a good run in Crystal Palace, and he did at this. People now probably the only guy who believe in Gallagher is just Lamps now, and a few people who, if you understand football, you know why we should keep him. Rodrigo, the gap was big against Arsenal. But against Bournemouth, Thiago pushed the lineup, and everything clicked. I think that's a solid argument too. So Lampard is learning surely, albeit bitly, or bit by bit. Maybe I'm not sure what you're trying to add to that. Here's the thing: he's learning. He'd be stupid not to learn, but I don't think he's learned enough that the owner should decide to keep him. That's how I see it. And this, I think we were lucky. We got sliced over and over in the midfield. The turning point was the block from Thiago Silva before we scored the second goal. And give Conor Gallagher some credit for that first goal. Honestly, I think that helped, did boost the confidence of the players. Don't worry, guys. When KDB was shipped out, it was under Jose Mourinho. Emenalo, today, Chelsea, we are under the watch of Vivell, Winstanley, Stewart, and probably won't. Yeah, I think we're probably seeing lots of young players rather than lots of experienced older players at the club. Yeah, I agree with you. Contender FC. Aponso Lawrence, is the news Chelsea manager being confirmed? Not yet. We're waiting. We're waiting for it. We hope it happens soon, but we're not sure how soon it's going to happen. Rafinha's name is coming up because Boehly has a lot of paperwork accumulating on his desk while he was in America. The cleaning lady tried to dust up and teach his notes on Rafinha, resurfaced to the top. Here's the thing, I don't think it happens. I don't want Rafinha at my club, but that's just me. But that will not change anything if the club really wants him. John Hand, I'm glad we sorted out the situation. Hi, all in the chat and all in the mod. My favorite live streamer. Thank you so much, brother. Always nice to see you. When I have time, I will do the moderator thing. I think you deserve to be a mod here. And I don't know who banned him for no just cause, and I didn't like that. But big up to you, brother. Much love. Let's see what else we have here. This Poch watch has been going on for weeks. We are safe now. The club! Big up, brother. Much love to you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We need just 8 more likes to get it to 100. Let's shoot for 200 by the time the show ends. This Poch watch has been going on for weeks. We are safe now to lay back and go on a holiday. Big up, everyone. Big up to you too. Bye, bro. Always nice to see you. What a way to enter the chat. How do you all become a mod here? for a while. They've been showing up for a while, and I got to trust them. But don't worry about that. We'll handle that. Question for Rodrigo, and most of them are actually members, and it looks like you were assigned a member. Yep, automatically. Somebody gave 10 memberships to our members, and my Barcelona friend Lolo gave away 5, and it was assigned automatically. Question for Rodrigo: what style of football does Pochettino play, and which midfielders does he think suits his style of play? Pochettino plays high-octane football, high pressing, quick passes, very, very direct. And Rodrigo isn't on the panel right now, unfortunately. I think he has something he had to leave to take care of. You can say lots of. You can say balance. I can't say categorically whether he likes to play more from the flanks or centrally. I think balance. I think he drills his team in a manner. If they don't see space from the flanks, they do something from the central area. Plus also long balls if it doesn't work on the carpet. So he's very direct, but you see for yourself, exciting. A hard line too, which can be risky sometimes. Here's a question for the panelists: is your professional careers, in your professional careers, what is the maximum number of interviews you have given for a job opening? Wow, maximum number. I think in most cases, if you have multiple candidates, vying for that particular job, sometimes you go for the first one and then they weld it. Cut it down to about 4, and then you go another one, cut it down to 2. It depends. It depends. So there's no way. I don't think I'm not gonna, like we've heard in the case of Pochettino. I think he's representing himself and also his backroom staff. So some are saying that's the reason why it's taking this long to sort it out. So, but I'm not sure because I'm not there. But I get why you're asking that question. I prefer Dembele on crutches rather than that one-footed footballer. Brazilian. Honestly, I don't like Rafinha. Even when we were going for him, I really don't like him. He's too one-sided for me. It's no different than Anthony of United, and he's not going to come cheap. So yeah, I don't want him. You can trust me completely as a mod on your live stream on YouTube. My number one favorite live stream. Okay. We'll talk about. We'll do once I find time. I'll take care of that. And the Blue game. Big up to you too, brother. Have you forgotten KDB was a bomb at Chelsea, and so was Salah. The chances of that happening again is very slim. We got rid of them for a reason, and I think they will not. I don't think they'd regret leaving Chelsea either. If you ask them. Let's say, I believe they'd say to you they're glad they left because they got the opportunity, much needed opportunity to play week in week out and become as better as they turned out to become. So most people, whenever they talk about Jose Mourinho, it's just easy to plug in those names and say he's the reason why we lost them. 80 million. 18 million for Rafinha. It's a big joke. I don't think we should actually even consider him. Rido, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's get it to 100. 5 more likes to get it to 100. You can always get hold of me on DM. Yep, my bro. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. And this says Pochettino has had around 6 interviews. Seriously, I didn't know that. I thought it was just one. And subsequent the subsequent ones that maybe are just discussions with regards to what's on the contract they're trying to or just I'm not sure. Let me just not just throw that at you because I'm not sure. If you don't get it in 3, probably you won't get it in 6 as well. Most likely, Boehly is using these interviews as crash course in learning Football Manager. Oh my goodness. Big up to everyone in the chat. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go a long way. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. I appreciate that. Big up to you. God of Frogs, always nice to see you. I appreciate you. Sierra's Domain. We don't need Rafinha. If you play a back 4, he's not a great winger. Neither is he a great defender. So where is he going to fit? we don't need him. And I feel the same too. I don't think we need him, seriously. Plus, he's too one-sided for me. Imagine a midfield consistent of De Jong, Casado, Paulinho, Enzo, a striker, and an elite manager that will fight. That will fight for the title in the near future. I think you've named 2 players, and I don't see the possibility of us having them all. The 3 of them, all of them playing for Chelsea. Yeah. For once, Barcelona they really do want to keep Frankie de Jong. Casado isn't going to come cheap. He's extended. Plus, the fact that Brighton rejected 70 million offer from Arsenal, even when he's still but even before he renewed his contract, I don't think we'll be spending that much money. If they do take him, he's a fine player. And so, yeah, I get it. I don't think we'll see those players you mentioned together at Chelsea, if anything. Let's see, Kuchila. Madueke is a talented player. I don't need a scientist or anybody to decipher that for me. King Prince, big up to you. He's an excellent player, but I wouldn't say excellent at this point. He still has a lot to learn, lots to work on. His, a final product. I think with time, as he gets older, as he plays more, I think he'll become an even more. He'll become more polished. But right now, he's still kind of raw. But I'll take him more game. He just needs to play more, and he'll become a better player. And that's where Poch comes in. He's good at nurturing young players. I got the job at the 3rd time. It was I was invited to visit them. Take a tour of the facility of the organization in question. But yes, it's a bit excessive. And that is it. But you can say, if we believe in the reports, you can say, yeah, it has been interview after interview for Poch. But I think there are other discussions. Maybe people are just categorizing everything as interviews, even though there's a chance that actually wasn't the case. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Yes, thank you so much for all the likes. And if you're watching, if for some reason you're not able to participate in the chat, you do provide great value to the community. So thank you. But if you can do us one more tiny bit of favor, which is just to take a second to drop a like on the stream, that will go a long way for us, and we sincerely do appreciate that. And if you're a moderator in the chat, please keep reminding people to keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also keep to subscribe if they haven't. The likes to go along with Rafinha as a replacement for Sterling would be good. I don't want, even if Sterling ends up leaving, I don't want Rafinha to be his replacement. I think we'll have a problem there. He's too one-sided. And can be knocked out of a game if a manager knows what they're doing. Gives Madueke a proper competition on the right-hand side. Madueke is a better player because he uses both feet better than Rafinha does, if that makes sense. Let's see, what else do we have? When is the new coach coming, folks? Emmanuel Roberts, we're not sure. We're waiting. That's why part of the title says Pochettino announcement watch. We're waiting to see. We're keeping watch to see when he's going to be announced. Rafinha Rafinha is full gold. Hitting the likes isn't hit those likes, folks. Keep dropping the likes, and that's exactly what my brother Thomas Bays is saying. More likes, the better for us. Please, the likes to go along with for the community. You see, when the job is for like a contract worth 30, 40 million. I can understand why it's taking too long. Lots of stuff to iron out. Like for instance, we heard Pochettino, seeking to have full control of the transfers or something to that effect. I don't just want to be throwing nonsense at you. I'm not too sure. Making, the manager making requests we heard something to the effect of him not wanting interference during halftime or after games and all that, or the owners coming into the dressing room and all that. We heard those two, even though there's no way to confirm that those things were facts, but it still shows you there's a lot to talk about. But we move on. Let's see, Rafinha isn't good. ZJ, I feel the same too. He's a good player, but not good enough for Chelsea, honestly. Coachella, those midfielders I named is what you call elite. I'm not saying we're going to get all of them. Yeah, I think that's the truth. If you want to compete on the highest level, at the highest level, you need a sacrifice. Yeah, you don't have to be sentimental. Just get, make sure you have balance. Sign players you're supposed to sign. Let players that you've looked at and that haven't worked, let them go to accommodate those that you want to bring in that you believe we'll make sure we'll help balance the squad and help the team do well. So let's move on from the Mourinho talk. What else do we have lined up here? This is with regards to Pochettino. I think something Jerry Z have also talked about in the chat, but we can now specifically talk about it in the show. And pardon me, I have to take a sip of my coffee before I lose my voice. Yep, thank you so much. Just give me 1 second. We'll come to that in a bit. I'm checking if there's any new updates out there to talk about. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything serious. Let me check here. Just check for new updates here. All right. Okay, this one is serious. I think I'm going to open this so that we'll look at it also. Because it's we've talked about it quite a lot, so I'm going to open up more. I'm looking for more updates because that's how we operate here. As the show progresses, we keep looking for fresh updates to keep you updated since you're here. But let's continue with the Pochettino one. I'm waiting to see if something updates here. Just quickly, something else I want to look at here. Any updates from Chelsea Dodgers here? Here's my go-to man here when I'm looking for updates. This is serious, really. So I like that one. So I'm going to open more and check for more updates. I'll come back to you in a bit. But let me get a bit of what we have in the chat. Can name fit into the Chelsea squad? Mane, not name. Sorry. Sadio Mane. You could say yes, but you have to let someone go to accommodate him. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense to sign him. I'm not too sure, really. It's not up to me, but let's see what the incoming manager does. But you can say he can. I am going to disagree on the Rafinha take. He's a more rounded player than Madueke. He has more to his game. You can say the only thing he has over Madueke right now is experience. He's too one-legged for me. Madueke, on the other hand, can use both feet comfortably. And it's, to me, you can say a better overall dribbler. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's not the case, but that's how, from what my observations, that's I've come to that conclusion that actually Madueke is the better of the two. But maybe I need to look into it more. Coach, I suggest we create a reality show of chasing our new manager from members in our chat community, going through some ideas. We definitely have some talent. I think we should do that. But people keep dropping the likes in the stream. The likes will go a long way. Thank you so much for all the support. The likes, do push the YouTube algorithm to push the stream to people who'd be interested in the topics we have lined up. David Austin, can this brother be trusted? I think he can. Here's the thing: they're not perfect. Even Fabrizio Romano on occasions have gotten stuff wrong. He was certain that what's his name? The Croatian international, the defender, which will be even if we decide to go for him right now, it will be a signing that doesn't make any sort of sense. Josko Vadio, it was something that he was going to join us last summer, I think so. Was it last summer, or was something he was going to join us the coming summer? But it turns out nothing. There's nothing. There's no context to that story. So they're not perfect. They do make mistakes sometimes. Why, I don't know. I'm not going to go into that. But I'd say you can trust them, but don't trust them with your life. Don't hold your breath for that. Just see whatever you hear from any of them, even Fabrizio Romano. See them as speculations. Don't hold your breath for them. Honestly, you'd lose your life if you do. But you can trust them just by saying, something is going on there, but not a certain. Don't be too certain about it. He's a bit like Willian. He's a workhorse, but if Barca wants 80 million, it's a no-no. That's what else we have. Mane will certainly fit into the dressing room, that's for sure. Even though there's a crowd, Mane will create a space easily. I think from what I heard before, said the club we're looking at him, given his experience in the Premier League and given his age, we need to mix things up. We need to have an experience, you can say, for lack of a better term, an experienced outlet in the attacking area, and he's one. Mane to Chelsea, just rumors, nothing concrete. I think I feel the same too. And I heard, I think that has been debunked actually, but I don't know who was that, the person that debunked that. I don't think it's coming to Chelsea. Mane links are surfacing again, coach. Really, it's getting serious. And just as I was saying that has been debunked. There's a chance it's serious. You never know, but let's see what happens. Austin can be trusted, yeah, but don't trust your life. Don't trust him with your life. He's a human being, and yeah, he's bound to make mistakes. He's not perfect. They don't get it correct all the time. When he brings Chelsea news, it's always right. Okay, okay, but I'm not. Disclaimer: I'm not the one advising anybody to trust them that much. Just trust the news, and also sometimes use common sense to dissect and analyze whatever information you see out there and come to a sensible conclusion. That's what I advise you to do. I like that players are pushing back on Boehly and co. Stalin was right. Poch needs the power. Whoever comes in needs the power. It's as simple as that. But to a certain extent, it shouldn't be the manager alone deciding what players the club to sign. I think, yeah, the scouting department has to, they have to also look at those in the scouting department also they have to look at the player and they all agree that player fits the profile of player. It's the profile of player we're looking for that would do well at our club and all that. But I get it. The manager has he has to have the final say because he's the one that has an idea as to how he wants to approach the game and knows better what sort of player he needs to get it. But I'm not sure how things work beyond beyond what we know, like what we see the approach of the manager's preferred approach. We can look at the manager's preferred approach and say, we think a certain player will be a good fit for him. But beyond that, we don't know how the decisions are made within the ranks at the club, especially now. You could say we've approached things in an unorthodox manner at Chelsea, lately. So there's no telling how things, the decision making, works there. We're moving from that. Keep dropping the likes. 104 likes, but we can do better than that. So this is after a comprehensive search led by Sporting Director Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley. A final decision is set to be made in the coming days ahead, and an announcement will follow in due course. So which means, according to this, it's in a few days we'll get to know whether it's Poch or not. The strong favorite to be appointed at Stamford Bridge remains Mauricio Pochettino. Here's the thing. If we're still saying the strong favorite to be appointed at Stamford Bridge remains Mauricio Pochettino, it's simply, to me, here's how I read it. He's not actually the only one being considered. There are other candidates. Maybe we don't know too much about them. And after all, when the talks were that Julian Nagelsmann was the front runner, that he's most likely going to be the one to emerge as the new Chelsea manager. Plus, his girlfriend has given it away by abandoning the job he got at the car manufacturing company and all that. We thought definitely it was going to be Nagelsmann, and he ends up now not being him. He actually pulled out. So please do not hold your breath and trust in the wall. Most likely it's going to be Pochettino. I advise you not to do that. It's a huge risk. He says, it's annoying we have to wait so long for the new manager. Unfortunately, I'd like them to take their time, really. I was just annoyed that the fact that the new manager wasn't the one to take over, given that we still had Real Madrid to overcome at that point. And had we done that, we would have progressed to the next phase of the Champions League, the semi-final stage. I was just not happy that it was Frank, but I've moved on from that, really. I think I'm happy they're taking their time. They're trying not to make the sort of mistake they made by hiring Graham Potter immediately after they fired Thomas Tuchel. And every time I think about that, I always go, wow, what did he tell them during that interview that they sucked up all to all it or to it all and say, you know what, I think you're the man for us, without even looking at his win rate, which is what I think barely something just 30% plus at that point. He must Graham Potter must have worked at every company he interviewed for, because how did he get to convince them? Because it didn't make sense if they really using numbers. They didn't look at his win rate at the point and decided he was the man for the job. But I'd like to move on from that. Don't forget to smash a like button, people. Hit subscribe, and if you're interested, you can become a member too. The link to the membership is pinned at the very top. It costs $2.99, and it helps us sponsor students. It's called Project Stay in School. But we're moving from that. If you cannot afford it, no worries. You're still a valuable member of the Chelsea Perspective community. So thank you so much. We're moving from that. Thank you for saying that, Glenn. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We've hit 100. Remember, the aim is to get it to 200 likes by the time the show ends, and I believe we can actually do that. Please, Rafinha should remain in Barcelona because he chose Barca over Chelsea. He actually, you can say to some extent, he insulted us. So he should remain there. We don't need him. That's how I see it too. This says, I have to leave you people only early today. I have a doctor's appointment. I am wearing a Chelsea jersey. So she knows the diagnosis when I work in. Have a great day. I love that one. So the moment she sees you, your doctor sees you, she knows probably you're suffering from an anxiety or a mental issue. So that makes it easier on the doctor. But much love, Glenn. Always nice to see you in the chat. Thank you so much for saying that. I love it. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 107 likes, people. Let's get it to 200. I think we can do that, but only if you believe. Again, you people are absolute legends. Pochettino was minus coach at Southampton. Yep. So that makes it make sense. And here's something else. A lot of people, my bro, is this. There's a chance those that are pushing that rumor. If there's a chance they know, because he had coached him at Southampton, that it's believable that if they put something out there saying that Chelsea are interested in signing Sadio Mane, that people will, he will get many clicks. So that's a chance. That's the case. There's a chance also Chelsea really do want them. But like the Bluetooth again says, the Mane links is resurfacing again. Have they interviewed anyone else recently? There's no way to tell, and I don't know. I wish if I know, I'd let you know. I feel Lampard will be the permanent manager. I don't see that happening. But well, you don't know. There's no again. The owners may well look at this as first thing that Chelsea manager and say, you know what, he did well with young players. He only started having issues when the club signed them. He only had issues with older players, and we have lots of young players now. Maybe he's the guy for us. I don't know. They may well decide to give him a chance, but I don't know what to make of that suggestion there. Glenn, I hope all is well too. I hope it's nothing serious, bro. But the way you put it, it was funny at the same time. That shows you're still in high spirit, even though you're going to see a doctor. Maybe it's a regular checkup, and I hope everything is well. Thank you for asking that, Thomas Bass. We don't have to worry about Pochettino's appointment. The owners need to take their time to avoid mistakes. And I think we all can agree with that. This show is getting addictive, guys. Let's keep getting those likes up, and it's getting the community is going bigger because of people like you, always here supporting and providing excellent contributions in the chat. That does go a long way because the strength of the show really is those in the chat because it's an interactive show. We do get nearly every contribution in the chat. That drives the show. You're the ones that drive the show. So thank you. More importantly to you. We move on. Angie Postecoglou, coach, can we at least look at his statistics. We need to be prepared, especially he faint. He's the faint-hearted. I think we'll do that, but I don't think we'll consider him. But yeah, if we want to talk about him, we can talk about him tomorrow. We still have tomorrow, and we still have between games. We can also do the keep or sell. I think the more we have clarity as who's likely to become the next manager, the more we look at how that manager in particular likes to approach the game, and what players we believe would do well under their reign or under the regime or tenure, however you want to phrase it. But for lack of a better I choose maybe under their tenureship, maybe. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And Michael Obinkamp says, please like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we're 108 people. We can do better than that. Thank you so much for all the love. Sincerely do appreciate that. I wouldn't complain if we get who? River Plate manager. You're talking about Marcelo Gallardo. For Gallardo, to me, I think it's a huge risk. In what sense, if you ask that question? He hasn't coached in Europe. I get it. They say football. Some say football is simple. Some say football is not simple. Some say it's complicated. I think it's complicated in the sense he hasn't coached in Europe. Plus, in the Premier League, his approach, I know he's detail-oriented. It's tiki-taka, a more advanced version of tiki-taka in time because more direct version. So I think that's the better term for it. More suitable term with regards to what the point I want to get across. I think, a more direct version of tiki-taka. I think that's a better term for it. It's still a risk. I think it will be a risk, a considerable risk, actually. You can say an even greater risk than Graham Potter. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people think otherwise. And lots of people wanted to see him. At one point, actually, it was rumored that we were on the verge of announcing him as the next Chelsea manager. So that shows you why you shouldn't believe everything you read out there with regards to what's going on. Sometimes you need to dissect and analyze to come to a sensible conclusion. We're hitting the likes already, coach, by pressing like on like. It's that. I love that, brother. And thank you for 110 likes. Remember, people, the aim is to get it to 200 likes. I believe it can happen, but only if you feel like it's possible. Let's see what else we have here. This says Chelsea will get better next season. Joshua Dan, I believe that. I think you're Dan. I haven't seen anybody spend Dan like that with an H, but I think the H, if you ask me to say, probably is silent. That's one thing I don't like about English spellings. Let's keep it going, people, and the likes do go a long way. Thank you for joining the show, Dan, Joshua Dan, and anyone else who's in the chat is watching. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Poch cannot be announced now because of Lampard's contract. Really, a sign of respect, I guess. I'm not sure what to make of that, really, if that's the case. But Olaide Green, Olaide sounds like I found another Niger brother here. A big up to you, bro. If you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And while I read the comments in the chat, if you don't mind, please can you take a second to drop and tell us where you're watching the show from. Would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Chelsea needs tactical systems. The team lacks pressing ability. I think we've had issues in terms of how we press. We don't press as a unit, and we only see some of our players press tirelessly, and at some point they get tired. If that makes sense. Yeah. So Poch, to me, it's taking too long to my liking. But it's a good thing also that they are taking their time to avoid making mistakes, because there's a lot to iron out. There will be probably clauses, you can say, which most likely will state clearly what happens at some point if it's not producing results and all that. So I don't blame them. We're moving from that. Let's see, who else do we have here? Gallardo would get us playing with a good pattern of play. Yeah, but so you need more than just a good pattern of play. You need more. I think the fact that he hasn't coached Europe to me is a big concern, if that makes sense. Jesse says River Plate game had a fracas recently. I am starting to like the manager. Imagine giving him a player like Mane. Is he still coaching? I think the last club he coached was River Plate. I don't think he's a coach right now. He still coaches River Plate right now. I think I just got an update from my bro Jesse. Some updates. We'll take care of some of the things, except if it's breaking news. We'll take care of the items we have lined up. Then we get into talking about any new update there. But I'll check it out since it's coming from my bro. Let's see if it's a breaking news. Okay, the fight. Okay, I'm gonna watch that when I get a chance. But thank you for sharing. This says, what am I hearing? Listen to all these managers being suggested. We are dusted, coach. Just really get us. But did you hear? I'm sure I'm not losing. I'm not losing my mind here. I can recall, if my memory serves me right, the rumors that were close to even the Chelsea biggest Twitter account, carried the news that we were on the verge of now announcing Marcelo Gallardo. It turns out it was all nonsense. Let's see what else we have here. Coaching in Europe and in South America is very different. Even even though I like Gallardo's doing what he's doing with River Plate. But even at that, it's a risk. I think it would be an even bigger risk than that of Graham Potter. Poch will be announced this week. I am sure. I will remember you said that. Let's move on. River Plate and Boca game had 7 red cards. 7 red cards. So nice manager to have. At least we'll learn how to fight, right? If that makes sense. There was a proper brawl in that game. All star players were involved. At least players were willing to fight. Chelsea Adams is Kachila. Do you think Boehly and co are taking their time to appoint a new manager to avoid making future mistakes, or they are looking for another yes man? I think yes man is the least of my concern. I don't think that's the case. I think it's easy to jump to that to conclude that that's the case because of what has happened. Because maybe we see them. They were seen far too often on the training ground, and we've heard the news that they just barge into the dressing room unannounced and all that. I think it's believable, but here's the thing: I don't believe them. Just show me a video of them, then I'll believe. I'll believe that, and there's a chance we did see them more often than we had hoped to see them on the training pitch alongside a ground, but they're having conversations while the training is going on. Maybe that, like I've argued before, that's the way of showing him, look, we still support you, because we were struggling that time. But we're moving from that, really. But by the way, Coach, did you sing a super Frank when we won? No, but I give him credit for the selection. The fact he chose a structure that I liked the lineup, but I was seriously concerned with the fact that he was going with a 4-3-3 structure, because all the time from Graham Potter's era, all the time we've tried to play that with that structure, we struggled. So kudos to him for sticking with his preferred structure, and it worked. It worked to a considerable extent. There was still some, you could say, a shaky moment, some issues to sort out. Like Rodrigo did mention, the space between the midfielders and the eights, and the sixes and the eights is a concern for him. And but JC in the chat says, I think he addressed that. I think he did said something to that effect. But I'm not gonna sing that. No, there are only 5 or 6 managers in the game that are worthy, and half of them have rejected us, while we rejected the other half. And now we've dropped down to tier 2 and 3 managers. God help us. I wouldn't say Pochettino. I think you could say. Okay, you know what? Let me not get into the tier argument. I'm not going to say that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 115 likes. Remember, the aim is to get it to 200 likes, and it's very possible because you people are absolute legends. Beautiful is showing disrespect to Angie Postecoglu. I can't say his last name. Boehly eventually wants to prove a point to the fans that Potter was a good choice. Would fans accept him back? No, I don't think the fans will accept him. I think in Raymond Zubairu, Zubai, is that how you pronounce your first name? But Raymond, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I think Todd got to be too excited, and us as fans only fueled that excitement every time he came through with a signing. I think in time he will learn. Next season we go again. It's stupid not to learn. Chelsea need a manager. Okay, Dread escape a relegation battle. Allardyce, we're not going to get relegated again, so we don't need Allardyce. Hudson, we don't need him anymore. We're staying up. Eugene, big up, brother. I haven't seen you for a few days now. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Big up, Kachila, and everyone. We can easily make top four in this trash or in this trash of league next season. One midfielder, and that's it. Then we secure UEFA Champions League. Go for real signings. Who will help us to compete? Thank you so much for saying that, Eugene. We missed you for a few days, and thank you so much for changing your approach. Bulk up everything you want to type in the chat and send it there. Don't type it bit by bit. Thank you so much. I like it that you're bulking it up right now. I sincerely do appreciate that. Coach Mourinho to PSG is taking shape. That may well have been the reason why he refused Chelsea's advances. Do you see the likes count? It's getting dynamic. If you intentionally keep doing like it and liking it, I think YouTube will penalize us. They will just see it as if we're cheating to get it up. But big up. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 117 likes. Let's get it up. The plan is to get it to 200 likes by the time the show ends. So thank you for all the likes there. Attitude is the only positive thing about Nani Madueke. I am tired of hype. We need reinforcements after we secure UEFA Champions League. Well, at least he has attitude. That's a good thing. He's so young. I think he'll get better. Cannot wait to see more at PSG. It looks like you're a PSV fan too. To be fair, fans, Sam would have been a better option as an interim manager than Labs. I think we would have won more, but you would hate the football. Believe me. Chelsea was aim breaking top six title steps. Okay. Dr. Phil, big up to you, brother. English Pep with hair is world class, best England manager of all time. Who is that? And my bro, Willie Daniel Chukwuike, nice to see you. I appreciate you, my Evo bro. Please, Chelsea need a better medical team. If they don't look for it now, next season will look similar, will not differ. Testing, I think, I don't know how it's even after hiring a hamstring expert, we're still having players going down with hamstring injuries here and there, and we need a goalkeeper. A lot of people think so. I think Tyler Adams would be a great pick up from Leeds for a DM, and that team is awful without him. Talk about that. I think Tyler Adams would be a good addition to our squad if they want him. What do you think about Pochettino? I think he's going to do well as Chelsea manager. Tunista, he's an excellent manager in terms of nurturing young players. At least give that to him. And you could argue he underachieved at Tottenham and could do better if we keep investing, if we make the right signings. Welcome back, Eugene. Let me bring you. Yeah, thank you for go ahead with him. Mudryk has promised Madrid cannot. Mudryk doesn't need a space for acceleration. Mudryk will be better. I think you could say he can become the better of the two. But both are good players, and they made a difference. Let's see. I think Pochettino's ceiling is a lot higher with Chelsea. I think that's a better way to phrase it. That's a delicious comment of the day. Mudryk problem is clinical ability. I think he will come good. I haven't given up on him. The blue to the game says, Coach, I will spare you having to pronounce his name, so just call him. Just call him Poster Krapku. Klaplu. All tier 3. Wow. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 121 likes. It looks like we're going to make it to 200 likes today, which is our aim. Kachila, which club do you want to win the league? City or Arsenal? It's an easy one. I want City to win it. My season will be worse if Arsenal ends up winning the league. Big up to you, Keshan, the New York guy. Always nice to see you. Pochettino to Tottenham. You think it's going to happen? Really? I think it's going to be Nagelsmann twist. Wow. Some comments. The Bluetooth again would love you for that. But let's see what happens. If he comes to Chelsea, fine. But maybe this is believable, really, because the time when we heard that Pochettino, when we heard that Nagelsmann pulled out, my theory was that he had to pull out because he wasn't sure if we're going to be, relegated or not. Plus, we don't have Champions League football. Maybe now that we're not going to get relegated, mathematically, it's impossible for us to get relegated. Maybe he feels like he can do with us if we're not going to get relegated. Sky News reporting Poch turns down Chelsea. I didn't see anything like that. Let's see. What do you think? Pochettino wanted to give Lukaku a chance. That's all rumors at this point, but the truth remains Lukaku is coming back to us. Inter openly has stated that the sort of comments that we've heard from Inter's president are, I think to me you can interpret to the fact that they don't want to keep him. They've made up their mind that he's going to come back to Chelsea, and he's our player. He has to come back. Only then will the club decide what to do with him. And I think they may well try to get him to take a pay cut. Even if we want to sell him, I don't see any club that'd be willing to pay him anything close to how much he's earning at Chelsea. He's on a very high wage. Nagelsmann has gone to the summer festival, and his phone will be out of coverage until Oktoberfest. Yeah, that may well be the case. Brian 19, it's been a minute. Coach, it's been a minute. Top 4 next season will be through the back door. Now I know who's speaking. Big up to you, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Well, there's no telling what will happen in the next season, but I still believe we'll do better than most people believe we will. And thank God we don't have any European assignments to distract us. I think the focus will be on the league. Top 4 next season, it will be through the back door, but top 6 sounds about right. You can't argue that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much, people. I always enjoy interacting with you. I see you on Facebook. People talk Madueke is left-footed and Bradley. Madueke actually is, I think he's comfortable using both feet. If there's a twist, then I'm done with his ownership. Indecisive is a big problem, right? Being indecisive is a big problem. Yep. We need a goalkeeper. A lot of people argue that. I think we will get a new goalkeeper. Kachila, has any club with 42 points ever been relegated? I don't remember that. They were saying actually at one point, I think you remember, everything comes down to those people at those people again at the bottom. I think it comes down to how well they're doing and all that. But I haven't taken my time to look at that, the statistics that that suggest once you get 40 points that you're safe, if that makes sense, or 42 points. Madueke has a long way to go, but he loves the team, and I would gladly give him every chance. Look, he brings something different, and I'll keep him. I think he stays, and he has again. I think he has the potential to become even better. Get new goalkeeper when we secure you for Champions League. We need to be smart. Another transfer window with potentials over or average players going to bring us 10 years behind FFP. So one midfielder going to be enough. Yep, just prioritize the signing. Don't just go out there and sign any player. We'll see Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 125 likes. That's excellent. Let's get the likes up. Lukaku, I know for sure, will ruin everything we've managed to build thus far. If anything, we need a striker. I do not want that guy. I don't think it's going to be Lukaku. So I'm going to scroll past everything we have. Lots of us don't want him. West Ham have the honor of being relegated with 42 points. Having said that, there are already 3 teams in the table that cannot catch us. Yeah, so it all depends on what's happening with those below you. That's how I see it. Poch's son play for Spurs. Does it matter really? Is it still with them? But does it really matter? Let us be honest about our fan base. They are blowing things out of proportion with Madrid. This is why we rarely ever see people make it at Chelsea. But people are entitled to their opinions, and that's how we operate here. Ivan Toney and Declan Rice will put us 10 years behind. We're moving from that. Lukaku is too weighty. That's the first time I hear somebody pronounce writing like that. We don't need him. We need something better. We have Fofana and Broya. I wouldn't mind giving those players a chance. Kachila, we are mathematically safe now. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like I said, the whole thing comes down to those below you on the table. I haven't taken my time to research why they say, is it 40 points or 42 points is the magical point number accumulation that you have to have to be safe. I mean, there are literally delusional people trying to do an agenda and saying, yeah, lots of us do push our data sometimes subconsciously without knowing. Have you seen a film on Rando Colomwani? I haven't. I think I may well look at him. I think Colomwani, Madrike, Mutrik, and Nkunku would be a very dynamic bunch. I know Eugene likes Moani. It doesn't matter, but I think that is a real possibility for Poch to take Spurs and Nagelsmann to his for Chelsea. And yeah, you could say that. It makes sense. Why do the fans have to argue about who is better? They're both in our team. Yeah. If the new manager wants Lukaku, I will back him. I've said that before. Here's something else I want to talk here. The Neymar to Chelsea rumors they're starting to re-emerge again. And that's especially again now that they say that he can go for 75 million pounds or something. Didn't they just say something north of 70 million? In case if what I saw was in euros, I just can't quite recall. To me, I think if we sign him, it'd be a signing that the owners are making up for branding purposes. So you could say for commercial purposes. Is this still a good footballer? I think he is, but he hardly stays fit. So it's a signing that probably not a signing that is needed. But from what I'm hearing is that Pochettino likes Neymar so much that he would want to have him with him at his next club. And it's looking like PSG are looking to cut down the total wage size because they have they're in trouble right now in terms of where they're at. The borderline, you could say, you could say, for lack of a better term, let me say, it wouldn't take much for them to get into trouble with FFP and all that. FFP, or breaking the FFP rules. So, and the project hasn't really worked. So keeping Neymar doesn't make sense to them. I think they'd do anything to keep him back there. But for Neymar, if they see the opportunity, I think they'd sell him. Right now, I think they'd be willing to let Leo Messi leave. Especially they found an opportunity, the fact that he traveled without proper permission from them. Now I think they're going to let him go. They can terminate his contract as long as he didn't tell them before he left. Terminate his contract without paying him anything, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, what do you make of Neymar to Chelsea links? Or do you think? I think we should prioritize a striker. And if in fact the club they're looking at Victor Osimhen, I'd rather we go for Victor Osimhen than spend that much money. Spend 75 million pounds on spend 75 million pounds on Neymar Jr. Even though I've argued, especially on the ground, Potter, that Osimhen isn't the right fit for Chelsea. Who knows if Pochettino looks at him and say he wants him, and the club persists that they want him. I'd rather we go for him than Neymar Jr. Neymar isn't any younger, and for anything north of £50 million, he's still too expensive. Plus, lots of drama, the drama that will follow. I get it. It's a business. Probably most likely will be a business decision. It will miss signing him will probably be beyond footballing reasons. He's a good footballer and can still produce good performance every now and then. But he had the stays fit, and yeah, the drama that will follow. I wouldn't want to see him want to see him at my club. Honestly, we have 103 people watching, and I'm quite sure all those that are currently watching have not all liked the video. So if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So the question I'm asking those in the chat is this: the fact that we've heard that Chelsea are serious, according to Fabrizio Romano, the Chelsea are serious. They like Osimhen, and yeah, the fact that we're being the Chelsea, the rumors are emerging again with regards to Chelsea being interested in signing Neymar Jr. You let me know, what would you rather see? Which of the players would you rather the club sign, Neymar or Victor Osimhen? If I'm given the opportunity to choose, I'd say please get in Victor Osimhen. He's younger. Maybe Poch can help him to become an even better all-round player. Neymar comes with lots of dramas, but I heard the rumors are that Poch really wants Neymar to reunite with Neymar if the possibility of signing him is there. So I'm not sure what the club is going to do, but I want to get your opinion if you're in the chat. In the chat there, thank you for 130 likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. You people are absolute legends. If I can, I will applaud you guys, and I'm just doing that anyway. Thank you for 130 likes. Let's try and get it to 200. 200 is our aim today. Let's see what else we have in the chat here. This says, Coach, I will be delighted if Poch finishes in the top 3 next season. In Nagelsmann, if appointed, struggles to get the top 6 with Spurs. That would say it all. And then what a banter opportunity that would be for us, because we will banter the heck out of them just to let them know that, you see, it was all your fault. It's because Spurs is Spurs. Mourinho went to Spurs. Did he win anything? No. Conte has won trophies nearly at all the clubs. His coach went to Spurs and won nothing. Even Mourinho won something at United, but didn't win anything at Spurs. So it's a Spurs thing, not the Pochettino thing. Yeah, and let's see what else we have. Eugene says, it's just my opinion. Yeah, that's how we operate. My scout eyes tells me that Madueke is not for top level of football. It's just my opinion. Thank you for repeating the disclaimer there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We'll have 132 likes. We should be doing better than that. Kuchila, there was a rumor linking Messi or Neymar to Chelsea. Is there a possibility that they have never heard of Postecoglou? There's a chance they haven't. I'm serious. There's a chance they haven't. But I like reading your comments, bro. I think Nagelsmann is still waiting for Madrid. That may well be the case. I think an Oli Watkins-esque striker will be great. I like Watkins, actually. I'd take Oli Watkins over Ivan Toney. Yeah, Watkins is underrated, and his stats this season, I think, even though he's been excellent, really. Someone to just sit in the box and pounce on any balls that enters in there. In that case, that's not the sort of striker I want. I want a striker that's capable of dropping deep, participating in the play, and not just wait for the ball to be played to them. Contender FC says, oh, that's not good. Neymar is a player that needs to feel love. Yep, to feel loved, to do well. Look at PSG. Fans are turned on him, and you see what he's doing now, trying to get out of the club. CFC fans are critical and not loving. I think this is one of the first the issues coming out of the day. So Neymar to Chelsea, a lot of people would like to see that happen. For me, I don't think it makes sense. I'd rather we go for Victor Osimhen than Neymar. Even though on the ground, Potter argued that Osimhen isn't the right fit for Chelsea, given the way Potter likes to approach the game. But because he's still young, if the club are hell-bent on getting him, Poch is capable of getting him to become even a better all-round player, if that makes sense. Neymar, Nkunku, Felix, how is that going to work? Yeah, everybody doesn't have to start if you're asking that person. And the owners, if they bent on getting him, they will end up getting him. Yeah. So, but I hope they don't. Madrid have already have a team for the next 10 years, young players and all that develop. Yeah, I think they're loaded, and now they're going to take Bellingham too. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 133 likes. Let's get it to 200. That's our aim today. Big up Kuchila, the prince is here. Big up, brother and family. I am very happy to join today. Please let's take our time to like this channel and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It's been an excellent discussion, and to be honest, I like to interact with you whenever again I'm alone here on the panel. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. The likes do go a long way. Big up, big up everyone. Thank you for saying that again. This is if Chelsea one more defensive midfielders than Yusuf Fofana, and I heard we're linked. We're being linked with a move for him. Sounds good. First good rumor after a long time. I think if we're serious, I think we should go for him. But I need to do my research to get to know him even better. But it looks like a lot of people sound like he's a good player. And if we're serious, yeah, I think we should. Neymar is a marketing signing. Yep. That's and that's why I'm thinking that's a chance it still happens. That's a chance the owners will still pull it up. It's a marketing signing. It will help polish the brand and all that. And I think some Chelsea fans will actually like him. If they sign Neymar, that shows you that these owners don't care too much if we're going to win trophies or not. You could argue that. I hope they don't sign him. That Napoli president wouldn't budge. We need a scandalous news on him so that he will cave. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. But Laurientes, wow, what a man. I think the most difficult person I've heard, again, I've seen my club deal with. I would Osimhen Dembele from Barcelona for 40 million plus this summer. Is it 40 or 30? Even though he extended, it was only 1 year extension with the clause. This summer, next summer, free. I don't know. And rumors are we've also heard the rumor that we're looking at him. Do we need Neymar? Absolutely no, because we already have different players in that position. But he is a marketing signing, like you just said. So there's still a chance it happens. So let's see. Do we need? I think you're using. I think that happens in most cases in small devices where you send something once and it ends up coming in twice. Coach, my opinion on your question is that the management should give the authority to Poch and back him for any player he wants. I agree with you, but there's sometimes you question the manager's decision. If he wants Neymar over a striker, and if we're going to pay anything north of 60, 70 million pounds, I don't want him, really. That's my opinion. But I get where you're coming from, which is very correct. Imagine a Chelsea team with Neymar and Lukaku. The dressing room would be like Jahad, man. We would definitely get relegated next season. I think lots of issues. Neymar comes with dramas, not just his footballing ability alone. Take Watkins or Toné, but don't cry for missing trophies in the future. I'm just saying, I think I like Watkins. It's my opinion. And if I cry, my opinion doesn't mean the club will go for Watkins. If CFC buy Neymar, I'm done. Then I definitely want Postecoglou to manage. Keep dropping the likes, people. 138. Let's get it to 150 as soon as possible. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Why is that the only club Lukaku has had problems is at Chelsea? There must be a deep-rooted problem with the club. No, he had issues at United too, and now he's having issues at Inter Milan. It depends on how you see it. Lukaku has what Ty calls the main guy syndrome. He wants to be loved to do well. He wants to be the team to be built around him, and I don't want my club to do that. It's a huge risk, if that makes sense. Let's see. I respect your opinion, but his mentality compared to our young players is really top notch. So I doubt that that man loves challenging himself. Bigger coach. With what man in particular? Agbade Oluwamuyua, who exactly are you referencing? I want to know. We don't need Neymar. I don't think we need them too. But if I'm concerned if Poch says it needs a Mitrovic alternate. Here's the thing: we need a big squad, and we don't just need one top striker. Mitrovic has said openly, even though he still plays for Fulham, that he'd like to play for Chelsea. I wouldn't mind having him as as a squad player. He's a fine finisher on the day. Yeah, but I get it. It all comes down to what the owners want. Lukaku and Pogo didn't light much fireworks at United as well. Pogba, you mean? Yeah, I think he's had problems on occasions. Yeah, I think compared to, I would take Neymar with wage reduction. He's a world-class creator. Let's see what the others do. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 139 likes. Let's get it to 150 and shoot for 200 before the show ends. I think we have about 30 minutes to end the show. Midfielders at Chelsea, wish like who? Thuram, Kone, Paulinho, Casado, and Ugarte. I like Ugarte quite a lot. I like Paulinho too, but Ugarte. But my favorite, I don't know why we're not looking at him, is what's his name? Ismail Benessa of AC Milan. Let's see what we have here. Chelsea owners want Osimhen. I heard that. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to just sign him with how much he's probably gonna. We'll have to go. Most likely, would have to pay something north of 70 million pounds to get him. So why get a number two if we're going to be spending that much on Osimhen? If that makes sense, doesn't make sense to sign Neymar at this point of his career. The physicality of the league and Neymar's injury record recently wouldn't be a good thing. I think they don't help. On a second note, it would be fireworks to have Neymar and Mane competing for that left wing position, so to speak, with River Plate manager managing the dressing room. Yeah, the drama escalates. The marketing signing you need is hijacking Messi to Barcelona or Messi to Al Nassr, or splash the cash one time on Mbappe. Yeah, that would be an excellent marketing signing, if we're being honest. So it looks like it's about time I have to scroll to the very bottom. Quite a lot here, and I simply cannot get everything. We don't need him. Mayanja, we don't need him. We are rebuilding. We don't need old players. But you need, excuse me, people. With regards to this comment here, please let people express themselves. As long as they're not being abusive, do not delete their message. Please let them express themselves, please. The marketing signing you need is hijacking. Okay, I've read that one. With regards to this comment, I think we need experience too. We need to mix it up very well. It's going to be a fight for Mbappe in 2025. I agree. Lots of clubs would want him to join them. I think that's going to happen. There have to be quality signings that won't break the bank. Mitrovic is one at forward. Yeah, he can be a good squad player. I like him. So please let people express themselves. As long as they're not abusing anybody, please just leave them be. Let's see what else we have here. Lukaku is a flat track bully. Coach, tea time with my wife and daughter. Enjoy, brother, and see you whenever you get a chance again. So I appreciate the quality time here. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. God bless you too, brother. Thank you so much for joining. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We're at 140 likes. Let's get it to 150 and shoot to 100. Mitrovic as a squad player, we have a brother, we have Broya and Fofana, but those kids shouldn't be squad players. Otherwise, they're not gonna improve. So maybe not sign Mitrovic. So I agree with that argument. Sandro Tonelli is better than all Chelsea defensive midfielder. Do we have any natural defensive midfielders at this point? No. Get Tonelli after we secure UEFA Champions League and buy some cheap options. You can argue that. Let's see what else we have here. I think Tonelli hype has fallen off a bit recently, hasn't it? Maybe that's the case. Remember a lot of company. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, please. There's too much to read here. No need for another striker while there's Broya and Dacho Fofana. I'd give them a chance, but it's looking more like Dacho Fofana will most likely go out on loan. Osimhen would cost us another record fee, and I just don't trust players who come from Syria are into the Premier League. Neymar ego problems. If Poch comes, we should try Harry Kane. Harry Kane is never going to happen. Plus, at his age, he'd be looking for clubs where he'd go in and win something immediately. And Chelsea is. I don't think we're guaranteed to be that club in the coming season, if that makes sense. Even as a free agent, I don't think he'd come to us. Please do not time Eugene out and delete comment. Yeah, please let him express himself. As long as he's not abusing anybody, please do not time him out. Do not time Eugene out and delete comments which are his general opinions, and do not violate any house rules. Yeah, please let him express himself. But I think Jerry Z is still learning the rules. He doesn't know that much. It was not Jerry. It was Google Bot. Was it? No, I think I'm seeing Jerry there, but that's fine. Jerry's still learning. That's fine. He's fine. Chelsea only need something like Mane. Chris Parker, official. Thank you so much for joining. People keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes will go a long way. We have about 30 minutes more to round off. So Eugene, apologies. I think Jerry didn't know, and Jerry, I know you're still learning the house rules, so no worries. Don't worry too much, bro. You're fine. Oh, it wasn't you. Okay, he's saying it wasn't him. But that's by the way. Let's move on. All right, let's move on. Please be fair when you have powers there. What we need now, and it's serious thing, is a CDM. And I like Lavia left fight for that kid. He has something special. I think it's not just stereotypical DM. He has everything. Can we change that Nemesis picture? I cannot watch that hit style. Well, I'm not sure what to tell you. Let's see. Jerry Z, behave yourself, says the beautiful game. I think he's learning the house rule as a moderator. I think he will get better. I trust him well enough to make him a moderator, so I'm fine with him. And please do not. Eugene is just expressing himself. I think he'll be fine. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. You haven't seen Eugene in beast mode. If Roger is here, the dragon, the dragon will be unleashed upon the kingdom. Yeah, I think that's another way to phrase it. I've learned to understand and take Eugene as he is. I think, but please, I'm sure Jerry Z himself have also learned that lesson. So let's talk about this. The question I want to ask you guys is, where's this man here? Just let me find. Let's talk about the owners. Let's talk about Todd Boehly and co. If you're in the chat, would you say they are misunderstood, or would you say they deserve all the criticisms coming from the fan base? I think to a certain extent you could say they're misunderstood in the sense that they mean well. Saying how again, I get it. We're all frustrated, and when we're frustrated, especially when we lose games, we can say whatever comes to mind without thinking twice. And in most cases, we'll say some stuff that you can say, if you look back, if you're being truthful to yourself, you'd say, I shouldn't have said that. Because we're talking about people who spent, nearly, you could say, plus 3 billion plus right now in total, especially spent 600 million plus in within 2 transfer windows. And in the general transfer windows, most especially, that's a lot of money, really. So I'm just saying, I think we should give them the benefit of the doubt. Do I think they've made mistakes? They've made a mistake. They've made a lot of mistakes. You can say one mistake actually led to the subsequent mistakes. First, they fired Thomas Tuchel, hired Graham Potter, and thinking it was the right decision. And it took so long to fire him. That's another. You could count that. That's another mistake. And even as they fired him, some of us were expecting an elite manager to take over immediately. And they hired Frank Lampard thinking that will actually appease the fans, that will actually help unite the fan base. And that, you can say, ended up divided the fan base even further because it led to an extent those that believe that they are, the true fans and calling others fake fans or plastic fans. Some, excuse me, especially the locals. Some of the locals wanted Frank Lampard, and some of the foreigners don't. Some foreigners do 1 and 2. And if you question why is Frank Lampard the manager they've hired to become the man they've hired to become to lead us to the end of the season, they will say you don't know what you're talking about. Some people, didn't see it like some of us see it. Some of us that says, yeah, he was a good player he was an excellent, a phenomenal player for us, but as a manager, he hasn't done anything that warrants him becoming Chelsea's manager, even on an interim basis. So, that was a mistake. You can argue. Maybe their focus was just to appease the fans. So, to me, beyond that, if we're being honest to ourselves, they mean well. All the decisions that they've made, they want to dominate football, not just the Premier League. They want to dominate European football. And that's why, for instance, they've spent 600 million in a single transfer window, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe 2 transfer windows, and that's back to back. To me, I don't see anybody spending that much money. And like some people, I've heard people argue, they actually want to get us relegated. They actually intentionally wants to run the club to the ground. I don't think that's the truth. I'm going to repeat myself. Have they made mistakes? Yeah, they've made mistakes. And the good thing is that we heard he openly admitted, yes, they've made mistakes. And they are, you could say there are lessons to learn from those mistakes. And I'd rather keep them that have made those mistakes and have learned from those mistakes than get a new owner who will likely make some mistakes also that may be as costly, maybe or even worse than how much we're suffering given the mistakes the current owners have made. So it only makes sense that we be objective when we judge them and realize, they've made mistakes, but we ought to move on from that mistake, and they did learn from it. And I think they have a structure in place. We have a complete structure in place. Now, correctly, if we're still missing any particular post at the club, we have footballing people in place. And at the time they made those decisions, that initial decision to fire Thomas Tuchel and hire Graham Potter, we didn't have those people in place. So right now, subsequent decisions, I think, will go through those people. They will put head together and make sure they're making the right decision and not, make decisions that will look back and regret. So my advice is to give them the benefit of the doubt. There's no way they'd spend that much money and intentionally run the club to the gutters, or maybe not do what they can to see that we win trophies. Honestly, that argument wouldn't actually make any sort of sense. I get it. When we're frustrated, we do so whatever comes to mind, and I don't blame us. We're entitled to be frustrated. We're entitled to voice our frustrations, but not to an extent where it just seems as if we're not being thankful, really, because the situation could have been worse. When we were on the sanctions at the point, some of us we had the legitimate fear that Chelsea will be no more, but we survived it, and they've bought us, and they've vowed that we're going to dominate, and they have lots of good plans in place, like establishing the satellite clubs and all that. I get it. People complain, we're copying the Red Bull model, and it hasn't worked for them. That's dangerous. I think they will copy them to an extent, and then look at their situation and say, this is where they haven't done well, but we need to do better in those aspects. So the question I'm asking you, do you think they are misunderstood? I think, yeah, to a certain extent, I think Todd Boehly and co are misunderstood. We don't judge them objectively when we do, especially when we lose games. So I want to get your thoughts if you're in the chat. I think we should learn to live with them and appreciate them even more because they want us to do well. And believe me, the future is bright. What about who striker from Montpellier? Is it what club? I don't know who that is really. You have to elaborate. And it says, I also made mistakes before becoming a moderator. It happens. Yeah. Thank you for pointing out that, Jerry Z. made a mistake, and Kingston did make mistakes, and Neymar Forward as a moderator also did make mistakes. So let's just correct. If you're a managing moderator, if some moderator made a mistake, just correct them. I trust Jerry. He sounds like an intelligent person and will quickly take corrections. So we'll move on from that. The only trophy Harry Kane wants is the share record. Come on, Chelsea, he would come for sure. I don't think so. Then Levy will not let that happen. He still has lots of say with regards to where he goes to, as long as he's not living as a free agent. If that makes sense. Elie, why he scored a quadruple yesterday. Wow, I need to research him. I think this is the first time I'm actually hearing the name. Boehly deserves everything coming from the fan base. It's his fault we are in this situation. But we ought to move on at some point. We ought to realize the fact that he's accepted that mistakes were made. And once somebody says that, you can say 90% of solving a problem is when you realize you have a problem. And for him to have accepted openly that mistakes were made, it does show. It looks like my backdrop light went off. I'm going to turn it on quickly. I can't do without it. I really do like it. Yeah, so the fact that he accepted openly that mistakes were made should be enough for us to say, you know what, let's move on. Let's just support our club. And they're not going anywhere. And some of us who's gone to the extent of saying Boehly and out or Clearlake out, they're not going anywhere, really. And I think we're blaming too much for decisions probably he wasn't the only person that made that decision. That's just how I think that's the case, because it's a consortium. Probably they'll have meetings and come to a conclusion with regards to what they want to do. So please, I urge us to look beyond the mistakes and support our club. I think it will go a long way, and it will be good for your mental health too, if that makes sense. Okay, Boehly should give the managers freedom to do what's best and reasonable for them, like Ibrahimovic was doing. And we are back on track. I think he's going to do that. I think we have a structure in place. And like I mentioned, I think we blame him too much for what's going on. It's not just him. Excuse me. It's a consortium. I don't think he'd be the only one that he was the only one that decided. Yeah, let's give Graham Potter the job. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead. Let's hire Frank Lampard. I don't think so. But what I'm urging us to do is just move on. I think we will be better next season, but we ought to move on from the fact that he's made mistakes. But as you judge him, bear that at the back of your mind that he's accepted that mistakes were made, which means he's learning. If he's not willing to learn, he's not going to accept he made a mistake. They still feel that he made the right decisions, but people didn't just give him a chance. This says, Boehly hired Enrique after Southampton, and we would have won against Real Madrid. That's just there's no way to tell that would have been the case if we're being honest here. But people would have loved that to be the case. Would have loved the club to hire an elite, the so-called elite manager when Graham Potter was let go, or at least fire if they're banned, if they get a fire. What's his name, Graham Potter before the international break, and so that whoever comes in will have a week, 2 weeks to prepare the team, or but we move on from that. Wasn't Frank Lampard selected based on a comedian suggestion? You know fully well. I know you're a smart guy. I know you know fully well that that's just absolute horse doo-doo, really. It's just because we've seen photos of him with James Corden, and it's easy when you put Suction out, given the fact we've seen pictures of Todd Boehly and James Corden out there, and where we found ourselves. We've been vulnerable for a while now, given the situation the club have. We've found ourselves as Chelsea fans. So those content creators, either those bloggers, they are effectively exploiting our vulnerability, because they know we'd suck up to everything they put out there and link it to something that makes even the tiniest that makes sense. Even at the tiniest bit, we would jump on it. I think, yeah, they've been feeding off of our vulnerability, and to me, I didn't believe that. How do you think it makes sense? I don't. It doesn't make sense, but it was out there, and a lot of people believed it, and people took it and ran with it. I like Boehly's intentions for Chelsea. The only thing I want for them to stop interfering and allow the directors and coaches to do their job. If that is the truth, that's something else I'd like them to stop doing. And they created something, I've forgotten what they call that project, that gives them the opportunity to get the fans' opinion, and I think it will go a long way. Maybe we should use that medium to reach them and say, stop interfering. I think they'd listen. But you get my point now. We ought to move on from blaming them, really. I'm sorry if I made... no, Jerry Z, you don't have to. Even what's his name? Kimso has made that mistake. Neymar Fowler has also... He made that mistake too. Even I have mistakenly banned somebody that I shouldn't ban. So don't worry about it, brother. I love you and I respect you. I know you're an intelligent person. I timed out Eugene because he was spamming, and I wanted him up, and I wanted him before. I remember Coach always reminds us to put our bulk messages up together. And yeah, so your judgment was based on my request. So don't worry about it. Eugene will be back and probably understands. Eugene himself was actually a mod, but the same day he was made a mod, he was stripped off of the moderator role because, yeah, I think he was, he's, you can say in full mode, he can come at anybody with some languages and sometimes we don't like, but I think he will come back. I think he will be all right. He probably will understand, and he probably still listening and knows it was a mistake, but he has every right to be a bit annoyed. So don't worry, Jerry Z. Another Neymar rumor, yeah, it's popping up. Coach, it's safe to say that the owners have made only mistakes. Objectively, I cannot see any good initiatives. They did eventually hire directors out of necessity. That's a good thing too. Even if they did that out of necessity, it's a good thing to see that the learning, they've realized the importance of hiring directors and all that. That football is different. Football isn't run the way you run non-football organizations, such as organizations that produce other products and all that, or that that help them become billionaires. That football is run differently. Maybe they've learned that. That's why they've hired these directors. So we ought to give them a chance. They cost us this season. Why give them the benefit of the doubt? They destroyed our legacy and pride. I don't think our pride is destroyed yet. I don't think our legacy is destroyed yet. We still have won more Champions League trophies than most people most teams in the Premier League. So I wouldn't go to that extent. And plus, the whole thing that we're going through isn't just down to the decisions the new owners have made. Remember, we had an injured, a village of injured players, and we lost some of one of our most experienced players and leader what's his name? Antonio Rudiger. We also lost Andreas Christensen. We also did lose what's his name? Marcos Alonso, that we had to work to get replacement for. So it is actually that simple if we're being objective, we're judging objectively. Everyone makes mistakes, but you continue to make mistakes and expect different differences, different results. That's the definition of insanity from Potter to Lampard, probably because they were trying to appease us. But I think, for me, I'm ready to move on and give them a chance because we have the space now to make a fresh start. Given that we're getting a new manager and they will have the preseason to prepare the team and all that. Let's see what we have here. No problem, guys. I just want to say that if Sandro Tonelli play in a Real team or City or Bayern, he would probably be a new pillar already, in my opinion. Here's why I'm laughing. What Eugene does these days, once he says it, he ends it, in my opinion. And I think I'm going to start doing that very often because, yeah, we just we're just presenting our opinions here. And when we do talk about facts, we use statistics and all that. So thank you, Eugene, for understanding. I appreciate you. Boehly is a clown. I will keep blaming him. even if we win the UEFA Champions League, of which you think we won't, okay, in your opinion. Kachila, are you Boehly's lawyer? I'm not. I'm just trying to be, again, as positive as possible and to use the platform to preach to preach to people to learn to judge objectively. And if we're judging objectively, I'm going to repeat myself again. They made one mistake, and that one mistake led to subsequent mistakes. And they were desperate to appease us to show us they do care, really, which was why they hired Lampard. And it turned out you can still call that a mistake, even though, yeah, we're staying up. But we'll look beyond that. None of us are perfect, really. If you're with us, seeing Castle Fullstone, I saw, the big man himself said, thank you, coach. It means a lot. No worry, bro. We're family here, and that's why we're growing as big as we're growing. We don't roll in. We roll together. We operate as a unit. The strength of the panelists is those in the chat. Sometimes they're the ones that correct the panelists, letting them know. I don't think that's the case. I think this is the case. Nobody knows everything here. So, and you mean a lot to us, bro. We appreciate you. And you see Eugene saying that's not a problem. And I know he understands. Some friends of Jason Condi called TalkSport online and put a situation correctly. Boehly and owners came and ripped the heart out of Chelsea FC. You could argue that's another mistake. To me, you could argue they let some people that they shouldn't have let go. They let them go. That also counts as a mistake. And I think they're realizing that, which was why you can say mainly the main reason why they decided to go for Frank Lampard, because they need those that know the club. I wouldn't say everything is on them. I wouldn't say it. Like the injuries we had weren't down to them, and the fact that we needed to sign some defensive players to reinforce our defensive department wasn't down to them. A lot of people, Mesole, they mean well, but they needed to relax their arrogance, especially Todd. Those errors were made immediately they took over. They should allow experts make decisions. Football is different. I think this is a delicious comment. And here, state football is different. Is different. And another mistake would have been to allow some people stay on to a certain period to ensure that the transition period is seamless and not just let them go like that. I think that may well have been one of the reasons why, the issues are, it's as compound as it is today. But that's by the way. But I'm glad you recognize the fact that they mean well. Yep, I appreciate that. At least let's start by explaining to people, I get it. I knew owners have made mistakes, but the truth is that they mean well. You have every right to disagree. Panda, big up to you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're 147 likes, 3 more to get it to 150. We can actually make that happen. Thank you so much. Let's see, they're having a conversation there. The young players, you're having a conversation there. Let's see, I believe Boehly just opened the floodgates. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. So it's easy to link everything back to him. So I get it. Thank you for saying that. What else do we have here? The beautiful game. I am still Boehly out and will never forgive him for making fans have to use calculators and advanced mathematics this season before. Boehly loves the limelight, so he deserves all the smokes. Okay. So he made us use calculators and advanced mathematics to figure out that situation. Wow. We will never get Neymar. I hope we don't. I don't want him really. He comes with lots of with drama. Floodgates. So, if you think we cannot bounce back, I believe you're being very reactionary, which I cannot blame you for. I think we will bounce back. Sabali Rai, is that pronounced right, Sabali? I think Boehly is misunderstood in a manner of speaking. Especially, and I was asking, the other day we read one of his responses to an interview question where he used the language. I couldn't stop laughing because I know that would stir a lot of controversy. And I knew immediately when I read that the people would take that comment and run with it, where he said something to the effect of, we will still figure it out. I couldn't believe he used that language. It's something that it's a language that's commonly used in America here. But I knew immediately that again those that they're not well acquainted with that language, we see it as if that even though that he doesn't know what he's doing, that he still be there, he still be helped. That he still tried to find solutions. That there's no solution. There's no solution inside. I was concerned, and it turns out I was correct because people took that and run with it and were saying all sorts of stuff because of it. Let Victor Osimhen come to Chelsea and Mane. That's Adelule Abayomi. Nice to see you, my Niger brother. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. The likes do go a long way. Kinso, if you think a guy who spent 600 million in one window intentionally wants to ruin the club, then I can assure you, you hate the guy because he's American. Let's not bring nationality into it. The war hasn't ended. There has always, there will always be tomorrow. No matter how you say it. One season would not destroy our legacy. I think here's the thing. One thing I've come to terms with is the fact that emotions are still running high, given where we find ourselves. People are frustrated, and when they speak, you can sense the frustration in the way they speak and things they say. And and I don't blame them. I've learned to deal with it, Coach. But you can objectively state that Eugene is consistent. He's not flip. No, he doesn't. I like when Eugene talks about players because he got good eyes for picking out players. I think the weaknesses. But that's not me saying he's always correct. But I think he's good. He understands football very well, and I love that. I give him credit for that. He doesn't flip-flop. Yep, you could say that. That's your opinion. Yep, we're all, again, it's opinion. We're dealing with opinions here. One bad season isn't the end of the world. I think I'd see it like that too. Jerry, we're not against spam. Believe me, Google does Google bot does a good job themselves. Yeah, the bot there it handles the situation. All we must do here is make sure that people spell correctly names like and also maybe oh my goodness, let me just move on from that one. This is again the only two mistakes Boehly has made is firing Tuchel and buying loads of players in the same window. I think there's another way to say it, and expecting a major improvement. It is inexperience. He will learn. The guy actually cares and is always listening. That's the thing. I think he pays attention. Let's see what else we have here. Coach, we lost to both North London clubs. We have no pride. Maybe for the season and the season alone. That's how I see it. This says just this transfer window. We need to be smart and quiet in terms of bringing new players. Wait for a season after and go for top signings instead of throwing money in the summer. I agree with you. This says people love to drink the negative Kool-Aid. We can only go up from here. That's how I see it too. Rai says the same thing happened Mourinho's last season. What did we do the next? Yeah, exactly. I think we won the league, didn't we? Go up with. Just go away. Neil says if the directors was doing their job correctly, Boehly wouldn't need to change them. They've been at the club longer than Boehly has. Well, that's another way to see it. I'm just going to scroll to the very bottom. We should be rounding off now. Yeah, I've done my best, and I enjoy interacting with everybody in the chat here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll be rounding off in a bit, but there are some topics I want us to look at. I say it with your chest. Eugene Tonelli is a generational talent. He has the minerals and a nice hair. Like, things I gotta read here. So you went beyond talking about his footballing ability to telling me how nice his hair looks. I'm not sure what to make of that. Jason Condi, that guy grinds my gears. I think I like listening to him. Panda, the Saudis are better than Clown Boehly. Look at Newcastle United. Okay, guys, like Condi are the ones that killing Chelsea. If you're watching, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm going to try and scroll to the very bottom, just too much to catch up with right now, and come back. Then we'll look at the last topics we have lined up, and then we can call it a day. The Bluetooth again here says, Coach, we are extremely lucky Chelsea still exists. In the year, in year one, we had the transfer ban. In year two, the sanction, and then year three, Boehly in. I am not looking forward to year four. I think it will be nice. I hope that we don't get anything like point deductions and automatic relegation. I don't want that to happen. Bad season and all that. Apologies, people. There's just too much in the chat to get. Coach, can we try and list a top three good decisions made by Boehly? They bought some good players, and we were all happy that they signed those players. Let's be honest to ourselves. Just at one point, we started thinking maybe we signed too many players in the same window. And it's a good thing he bought our club. I think there's a chance you don't know. We could have been worse with owners. The owners that has racist history that we campaigned against. They were close to being emerging as the new owners. Yeah, if that makes sense. So they probably did shy away from buying the club because they saw people didn't want it. But we move on from that. Why are you comparing a player to an owner? What else do we have here? I think we have to move on quite a lot to get there, and I don't have too much time. We need to round off like in the next 5 minutes to try and to prove a point by comparing apples to oranges. Okay, we have to move on from Boehly's mistakes. Honestly, we have to, and give them a chance. But Lukaku's mistake must not be forgotten. Double standards at first. Lukaku's mistake, whose fault is it, really? Under who did we, okay, under them. We didn't sign Lukaku under them. So Lukaku isn't their mistake in any way. That's how I see it. You brought up Lukaku, not me. Don't fight, please. Can have a civil conversation there. Only a non-productive person does not want their work to be reviewed. Boehly is a guy you want on your side. I think we will be fine. I get it. We're all frustrated. United allowed Saudi owners, but not us. I think there were lots of issues with the Saudi owners that wanted to buy us at that point, but I don't want to get into that. Let me see. Let's look at the final stuff we have lined up here, so we can call it a day. Just give me a second here. I have to go take care of something quickly. It's going to be a very, very long and busy day for Coachella. Let's go. What we have here, we have this. This says Chelsea are reportedly heavily interested in Ivan Toney. Drogba could be reunited. Drogba could be united to Stamford Bridge in a different form, different role, because I heard they have plans to start accommodating. They have plans to start accommodating former players, because they that will go a long way. And just 1 second here. Next season, top four goal or top half of league. I think top four would be the goal, because we need to get back in top six, because around six teams per federation, or maybe 5, is allowed to play in the Champions League. So I think the Champions League space in the Premier League will expand. I think so from next season. I'm not well acquainted with the expansion, but how it affects how many teams joins the Champions League from each league. We must end today's stream on a positive note. We are going to get a new manager. One of the two shortlisted, Poch or Angie or Pochettino. Just forget it, coach. People forget how Boehly got the club. I think he did well. So Ivan Toney, not a bad shout, but let's see who the clubs want. This one here also, there is some talks of Chelsea being open to letting Raheem Sterling leave this summer, but I think it's going to take a miracle if they do, because he's on a very, very, very high wage. Whatever club that wants to sign him would want him to take a pay cut first, most likely, because it's not like he's been fighting an Arsenal in this for us. He's unlikely to want to leave London, and then we have the fee. We signed him for plus another 4 years of huge wages. Would we be able to balance his fee on the books for FFP? No, it's not that simple. It's going to be difficult for him starting to leave Chelsea Football Club. So I don't think there's anything else anything else here? So we go to I'm gonna go to Bobby since he's here, just get his thoughts on everything he wants to talk about. Bobby, you have just about 5 minutes. Unfortunately, I have to run. I know you've been busy, but thank you for joining. Do you have anything to talk about with regards to everything you have us discuss on the panel here before we call it a day?
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, sorry,
Big up to you too, brother.
I was on the road. We've been very busy
I
around
understand.
here.
I totally understand, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have to say is this idea of a Chelsea person being brought on board. I think it's very important. I've been tweeting that for days. I think a Chelsea person should be part and parcel of any management team or any coaching team. It's important. I think you should be talking to people like Frank about that. I know Frank has ambitions in himself, but he could do with some period of understudy or involvement with the club in the background, and then maybe step up and take over the club properly after he's had that experience. I mean, there's John Terry as well. Didier Drogba, yes, it's a good idea, but will he be distracted by some of his other projects? He has a lot of projects in Africa and things like that. In the United States, I think he owns a football club, doesn't he? Or he's involved with the ownership of a football club there.
And I think he's interested in politics.
Yeah, so I'm not sure he would be the right person, but you never know if you ask him. There's Michael Ballack. Would he be interested? But definitely, I would look at people like JT for sure. Would he be interested? I know that amongst the Chelsea players, especially of that generation, that you would definitely find somebody. I mean, Petr Cech did it for a while. Who else is there available? Paulo Ferreira sort of got involved in that sort of level. I think we still have Claude Makelele. Yeah, I'm all for that. I think it's very, very important. I think a lot of the most successful managers we've had have had their success because of Chelsea people around them. And Carlo Ancelotti, his success was mainly built on the foundation of having Ray Wilkins with him. All the time, Jose Mourinho was successful in his first stint was because of Steve Clark. The second stint came, he had people like Eddie Newton, he had the likes of Steve Holland and so on around him. This is all very, very important. Um, um, Antonio Conte as well in the background were Chelsea people. So yeah, definitely. I think they should
One
do that.
more question for you, just quickly. I think we have about 2 minutes here, or 3 minutes at least. Would you say that Todd Boehly is misunderstood? I get it, he's made mistake. Do you think he's misunderstood? I think he's misunderstood to a certain extent. Do I think he's made mistakes? Yes.
I think he's scapegoated. He's scapegoated. We have fans that need somebody to point at. Maybe that's human nature, but they need somebody to blame for something. And although he is part of the setup, and although he is part of mistakes that were made, is he solely to blame? No. Can mistakes be made? Definitely. Even Roman Abramovich made mistakes. We're still paying for some of the mistakes he made. His team made. That's all part and parcel of football. Is it? I mean, think about it. Is it? These people think it's easy to create a winning football establishment? It's not easy. The people are very good at. Oh, he should have done this. He should have done that. After it's happened, but it's not easy. A lot of things are trial and error. A lot of things are projections and probabilities, and you take it from there. And I think they're doing their best. Personally, could they have done better? Well, I think they took over the club under very, very difficult circumstances. I think you read out a message about the circumstances under which we had transfer ban, two sanctions on the owner. The second one eventually meaning that the club had to be sold off and nearly bankrupted. starting the pre-season, starting the transfer market when it was well underway, having no pre-season. I mean, all these things work very, very much against a club, not to mention a club of the magnitude of Chelsea.
All right, thank you so much, Bobby. I think we've come to the end of the show. I had something to go take care of, which was why we started earlier than we started of late. We've streamed for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all finding the time to join. Coach JC asked you to list the good decisions. Did I fall asleep? I don't remember you saying any one. We signed Enzo. I know you like Enzo too. We signed. I like Madik. I like Madik. Let me just come from the player's perspective, if that makes sense. Then you and JC should start doing that to me. Stop doing that to me. Shaking my head. People are so look. I think they're entitled to show their voice, their frustration. Tone or Osimhen, I think I'm not sure which I will go with for right now. It depends on the manager, but we'll find out. If you haven't as well, rounding up, please keep dropping the likes on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We made it to 151. We were close to getting to our aim for today. Coach smoked that last question beautiful. Asked, would any legal representation of Boehly? Wow, that's you guys are cooking me. Coach Kimso is speaking. I like Kimso. And Kimso, congratulations again for winning the giveaway yesterday. We stayed up, and as promised, we did the giveaway. He won $50, and he's gotten his money immediately because he has a walk-in PayPal account. Why we must assign the striker now and the average player? Can we wait instead of a throw-in money? We are going things behind. Let's see what the club does. Ivan Toney, I saw the Chelsea player for you. Status like Bikini. Okay, wow. Sometimes you need to watch players how he plays instead of watching stats and then decide. I think I do both. I test plus statistics. Toney as a second striker. Proficient and Premier League proven. I don't trust the term Premier League proven also. Declan Rice, awful first phase. First phase of build-up doesn't exist. I think Rice may well not come to Chelsea, but well rounded up. We're not going to get into that argument right now. Boehly bought Chelsea to eventually make money. If Boehly didn't buy Chelsea, another person could have bought Chelsea. So Boehly isn't the be it all. Plus, for him to make a lot of money from Chelsea, Chelsea has to be competing effectively on all fronts. Those ex-players would certainly put the trust back into Chelsea, but I am not sure the establishment would like that, if you know what I mean. I think they will. They've realized that that's what they need to do now. People are mentioning all these ex-players, and no one is mentioning Drogba. Drogba is into politics and may well not have the time to participate. Boehly is definitely misunderstood because none of the fan base actually speaks fluent clown. Oh my goodness, fluent clown. Okay, coach. You and anybody, you and Bobby are tempting me to come online. You're slipping a few praises at last minute and knowing very well you were close. Computer and Ron, so we can talk that during the members on the show, or maybe another show you can come on and make your opinion heard. Man City have had the same coaching and scouting staff for over 5 years. So Rodri is a player they took their time to find. Wow, that's a delicious comment right there. Like Cancelo and Alvarez, because they were brought in to replace players who they knew at the time they'd be ready for them. Those players will be, winding down. So Zhao doesn't press, Stalin doesn't. Yeah, that's a solid argument. Because they are lazy clowns without delivering. Now we've come to the end of the show. It's been a very delicious show. I saw IBZ at the backstage, but already rounded off. I have a long day today. And thank you guys. I think we'll be talking about more and more of transfers. And we'll pick out a day for the keeper sell once the new manager is announced. I want to say thank you for Bobby for finding the time to join. I want to say thank you to Eugene for understanding when Jersey mistakenly timed them out. And a lot of people must say, my bro, thank you so much. Hilario, our former goalkeeper, is still the goalkeeper coach since Ondasari. And that's a good thing to have. Thank you for saying that. A lot of people. Zhao, big up to you. Thank you, a lot of people, for joining. Eugene, thank you. Rai, thank you so much. JC, my bro. Thank you so much. And the beautiful game, thank you, Chelsea, all the way. Everybody in the chat, who else? If I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. And Kimso, my bro. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.